Guys, let's kick it off. All right. Are we ready for countdown?
Yes.
Yeah. Beautiful.
I'm ready for it.
3,
2, 1.
What is good, my friends? Welcome back to the official Flash Brothers podcast, baby.
What's up,
That's
boys?
right. We're in the house.
Yes, we are.
Joining me today, before I get to the intro here, I got a special guest once again for the third episode in a row.
Yes.
Baby. We got Johnny Bravo in the house.
Howdy, guys. Howdy.
Howdy, baby.
howdy.
Michigan man himself, baby.
Literally
And we
the
got
Michigan
the other man, the
Michigan.
Louisiana man.
Ooh.
Yes, sir. The Star Warrior
The Star
himself.
Warrior.
It's Joshimation Joshy.
What
How's
up,
it
y'all?
going, baby?
How we good? How
Hell
we
yeah.
doing?
Yeah, dude.
Doing good?
Great.
Good.
Great,
Doing
man. My
good.
name is Sam.
Doing
Guys,
good? How we
we're
doing?
kicking off
Doing good?
episode 56 today of the Flash Bros podcast.
Oh, yeah.
If you're familiar with the show, you know the usual rundown is a main topic with some fluff before and after. And you also know Joshy is usually in the dark about the main topic, which we're keeping up today.
Usually
Yeah.
that's how it goes.
That's right,
That
baby.
sounds
Which I
Yeah.
kind of enjoy.
Foreplay in a way.
What?
Sorry.
Crazy.
I enjoy a little bit of surprise. I didn't
Yeah,
hear what
we
you
do.
said, Johnny.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it, bro. Don't worry about it.
Take it back.
Yes, sir. So, guys, as we kick off our show, I should probably say like a small spiel. Guys, it is season 4, episode 56. We're recording Tuesday, October 8th today.
Yes, we are.
We are kicking off the show as we do since season 4 with our pop topic.
Oh, yeah.
shit.
So for today's pop topic, I got something a little fun.
I love fun things.
All I need is for Johnny himself to give me a number between 1 and 8.
Ooh, that should be easy. Huh?
Ooh.
I know.
Since I'm the
There's
fourth,
a lot of choices.
let's go with the fourth.
Let's go.
Oh.
Let's go. John Rao the Fourth. Let's
Now
go,
the
baby.
four.
How fitting.
Well, Mr.
Wow.
4, the pop topic today
Oh, there
is
it
going to be this question. What is a recent experience that made you feel inspired?
Oh. Wow. Look at that.
Look at that.
What a very interesting.
Let the noggin start churning those wheels, buddy. I can see it.
Inspired.
That's a good question, bro.
Inspired. Like, is it like, are we talking about like consuming media or what are we talking about?
I'd say experience.
Yeah.
Something you were in front of, heard, saw. Something that wasn't like, maybe like from a video. Something you saw like just maybe happenstance. Or maybe something you went to.
Or something you, I don't know, just saw. A conversation, maybe.
Yes.
Last
Yeah.
one.
You got anything, Joshy? Anything coming to mind?
Inspired.
You just got back from Gold Rush.
I did come back from Gold Rush.
Was
I had
there-
a wonderful time.
We talked about that in pregame quite a bit. If you guys want to hear
Yeah.
all about that experience.
all about that experience.
Yeah.
Go check out the episode of
So you got the
Pregame.
episode of pregame.
I'll say inspired to just tell the people around me I love them. You know, because I don't know. So I feel like a lot of good stuff going on right now, but also just a lot of big changes coming up.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, so definitely maybe just the experience of getting to be surrounded by some good people. I mean, I'm always surrounded by good people. I'm surrounded by good people right now.
Oh my god.
But maybe not Gold Rush as a moment of inspiration, really. I mean,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, that was more just like a recent experience, but
Exactly.
you're a man of many experiences, you know. And I will say, like, work can also come into effect here,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like, just crazy stuff happens at work
Oh, yeah.
all the time,
All the
right?
time.
For I think most people,
Yeah,
most people can have like
absolutely.
a few work stories coming through every day.
I definitely would say pretty recently you met my coworker Paula.
Yes, yes, I did.
I went to her
Actually
house.
went to your
Yes,
work. I
you
went to
did.
Fate
Yes,
with
you
Kendall
did.
for the first
We
time.
came in.
That was
it
amazing.
Very fun.
Yeah.
Very fun. But my coworker Paula, you got to talk with. She was serving you. I got to go see her house for the first time. She has like an apartment over in not even that far, like over in Tempe.
Oh, yeah.
Right down the street from Four Peaks, if you know where that is. The
Yeah.
brewery.
It's like 15 minutes?
Yeah, maybe.
If that?
Maybe,
Yeah.
yeah. Could be 13. Could be.
Could be.
Could be.
Could be.
But I saw her house and she's a huge artist. She does huge pieces of art that,
Like, what kind of art?
dude, like some of the crazy stuff I've ever seen. Like,
Really?
Like
yeah,
abstract?
abstract,
Like, oh, wow.
but also like she measures out the fluidity of like colors and the way they react in different textures. Incredible, genuine art,
Wow.
art. And it genuinely just blew
That's
my mind.
amazing.
It was incredible, and honestly, she broke down every single piece.
Oh,
in such
really?
a personal way, yes. And I was locked in. I
That's
seriously was.
respect, bro.
And I would say it just inspired me a little bit to continuously
Wow.
further my passion and not forget about those things, which I've been trying to do. And I've been drawing a lot at work, which I shouldn't be doing, but I am.
That's
What do
I
you
think
do with
that's
receipts?
That's an
Don't worry
amazing
about
example because, first of all, I loved my first impression of her. She's so sweet.
Yeah,
right?
she's a
She was
really
the
good
server
person.
when we went over there.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
And she greeted us, and then you did too, because I think you were like walking up or whatever, or maybe you're already there. I can't remember, but she was so sweet, and she was telling us all about like all these games. Like we were like, we were playing dice at the table.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. And she was telling us all about how her fiance, or
yes, her fiance.
yeah, he
As of recently.
they play all these games together. So we were like, oh, what's like a good 2-player game? She's like, oh, I got like this game. If you're in this kind of mood, I got like this game. I'm like, holy crap, bro. Yeah, we were talking about even. Do you remember Kendall and I telling you about this like place we went with Gabe and Anicia that was like tabletop and you could drink there, and they have literally hundreds of board games
Was it Snakes and
lined up on
Lattes?
the. It's not Snakes and Lattes, but it's the same vibe.
Huh.
But
Where was this at?
I want to say it was like
No, another.
in Gilbert, maybe. It was kind of, I'd never heard of the place, but Kendall took me there. Like, she planned it with Anicia, I think. And, like, Gabe and I were just here playing Smash and
Right.
a little double date
Of
night.
course.
Yeah, well, you know.
Of course.
You know the
Where
vibe.
else would you be?
But, no, it was kind of, like, hidden. Like, it was almost like you walk underground in this place, kind of low-key.
Wow, I don't know much. About
Yeah, so it was kind of dark, but it had all these tabletop tables. No, like, servers or anything. They literally want people to come in, even bring their own stuff, you know? So there's just one guy kind of bartending. They got some pour spouts and some soda if you want that. They have a little convenience shop, but it's really just like literally hundreds of board games.
Go and
Every board game you could think of is there.
What's the name?
I can't remember. I gotta get it. I got it from Kendall.
It's such a good idea.
I can't remember.
Yeah, it sounds like a great spot.
Yeah, well, you know,
I wish I
we
knew
were
where
telling
it was.
Wish I could tell you where it's at, buddy.
Paula knows the place, so maybe ask her. Yeah, because we were talking about it. She talked about Snakes and Lattes too. She really likes it.
Snakes and Lattes is fun.
Yeah, you know. Did anything come to your mind?
Yeah. You know how I told you guys that I kind of have like I have injuries. Like, you know, I told you my shoulders are
Yeah.
kind of
Oh
screwed
yeah.
up.
Oh yeah.
He's missing both arms and legs.
Yeah. I'm actually
Monty
missing half my
Python?
legs.
Yeah, that's right. Half. Yeah. He's but a fleshly.
last night.
But yeah, straight up, I was hitting the gym pretty hard, consistently until recently. But like, I got over like a serious like knee pain
Oh.
by just working on like the smaller muscles around my knees. And
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
And yeah, no, just how great it feels to actually like put hard work into something and it actually comes out.
Like seeing the fruit of your labor.
Yeah.
Fruits
Yeah,
of your
Like
labor.
if I didn't work out, my shoulders would actually be in more pain because
Absolutely.
all my rotator cuffs are just
Yeah,
screwed up.
Really?
So I just built everything else around it to kind of just function.
Do you ever
forward.
just like hang from a pull-up?
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
I love.
I was gonna say like
love
if you
Dude,
if you like
telling us last
if you started like starting and ending your workouts though, like right when you get in, you just hang for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
That might help with some of shoulder issues.
Right.
Like just hanging is a very natural way your body just like starts repairing its shoulder work on the joints and the muscles. It's kind of fascinating.
Well, yeah.
Just
you're
by
tearing-
hanging
you're
from a
tearing.
bar.
I thought you meant like hanging out, like you're just chilling.
Oh
all
no,
day.
not chilling. No, like
Just
literally
hanging.
like if you're going up for a pull up,
Right.
but you're not doing a pull up,
Yeah.
you're just hanging.
We used to do that in weights because it was like a way to stretch your body. It
Stretches
was like
your
a
spine
stretch.
out.
So we literally would just like for warm ups, we would do like push ups and then we'd all hang.
Yeah.
We'd just hang out.
And it sounds
crack a
fine,
beer,
but your body is using your grip to hold your entire body weight up. So your ATP is getting sucked so fast. You ever like you're holding onto it and then you can't take your fingers off because you're so gone?
Locked, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's a good
crazy,
feeling.
bro. That's beautiful, Johnny.
Yeah.
I love it.
I'm glad you're feeling better too, by the
Yeah.
way, bro. I Did I tell you I've had like 2 bicep injuries?
What?
Like at the same time. Like it was like within 3 months apart. So I literally I didn't even want to go to the gym because anything.
When was this?
This was back in Oregon. Okay, this was like I was going like pretty hard. This is my first year of seriously working out, and I didn't tear, I don't think, but I like did something, and it was there's tennis elbow,
Yeah.
and there's another one.
Tendonitis.
It's the same thing, but it's on which side, right? Because you have 2 major tendons going like basically between where your funny bone is, and then on the other side, right? So it's on. This is called your flexor, like this kind of rotation. I know nobody can see, but for Joshy here, like it makes sense, right? You're flexing, and we do this, you're extending. So you have 2 major forms of tendons that go down to everything in like your hands and fingers and your muscles, and they're controlling both those parts. So you have a series that does the extensor and a series that does the flexor, right? Like I think this muscle here is called the radius carpialis
Something like
maxis or something like that. It's crazy.
Damn right.
And then extensor or flexor, depending on where it's at.
I love it.
Well, anyways,
they named everything for us.
So I could feel it. I had the opposite in each of my arms. So on this arm,
As you're
I had
pushing?
tennis elbow, which is like the tendon that comes from your, like you can feel it coming from your funny bone here all the way up. So imagine anytime you're doing anything that's extending, you can almost just feel a sharp pain that
As
feels
you move
like
it.
it starts in your elbow, but it goes up, right? Yeah. Any movement, like you're just, anytime you're extending your fingers, there's a little bit of pain, right? I had the opposite in my other arm where I had pain flexing, right? Flexing sucks.
No, of course.
That's grabbing anything. Anything.
Yeah.
I would go to lift up like, I think like when I was like at the peak of working out, I probably would like consistently do maybe 30-pound dumbbells for controlled like bicep movements.
Right.
I couldn't even lift them off the rack, bro.
That's so bad.
It hurt both ways, right? Because if you're flexing, your extensors are also activated by balance. That's why they tell you not to use too many like machines.
Right.
You want to use actual free weights or hold the weight because your other muscles are balancing out the muscles that are being activated. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense to me.
So let me put it this way: if you're grabbing a bar or a dumbbell and you want to hold it steady and not have it just kind of like flop, right? So 2 things are happening. Your flexor is holding it and your extensor is balancing it, right? So they're both activated, right?
That's where the controlled contraction is.
Makes sense.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
So I'm not kidding, Johnny. I don't know how long your like knee injuries. Was it both?
No,
It was just one?
Just my right side.
How long was that?
Well, remember I told you I popped my hip out of place and then tore my rectus femoris.
Oh,
Ever since then,
Right.
I've always had knee issues.
so yeah.
Because it's connected straight to your knee.
But it probably hurts like the least it's been since that happened.
I'd say like it's on and off. Like
Okay.
if I'm not working on my legs a lot,
You
Or-
feel it like creeping back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You gotta like keep it in like maintenance.
Yeah.
Basically.
it's
yeah.
fucked. I have to work out.
I had the opposite and I hated it. I had to literally take a massive break from heavy lifting.
Yeah.
Because especially upper body,
Right.
if anything, it actually gave me more appreciation for lower body because
Oh, it does.
I didn't need to use those muscles,
Right.
right? But gym injuries are no joke, bro.
I've torn this bicep too,
Yikes.
and it sucks.
Yikes.
Watching that thing just, I partially teared, where you can see the top layer just split,
Stop.
and it was down by
God.
like a centimeter, bro.
Jeez and
We're getting queasy over here,
I'm getting a little
guys.
queasy,
Let's rendezvous. Let's get
Yeah, sorry.
baby.
Catch-
What do you guys
oh.
been up?
Besides your throw up.
Catch me up, bro.
There's
right
your
up.
catch up
Look at
for
that.
you,
No,
buddy.
I want to know what's been going down.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah, especially because you had the Gold Rush weekend.
That's right, yes.
But
I had
I know that's not all you did.
No,
Was be
so-
a Gold Rush. It was only
Yes.
like at nighttime for 2 days.
For 2 days.
So what have you been up to?
So I obviously was hanging out with Plato because I was seeing him pretty earlier. We recorded on Friday to finish last week's episode. Just because I was feeling a little under the weather when we originally recorded on Tuesday. So we got that taken care of. And then I was out of the house for basically the rest of the weekend until Saturday when I saw you. Remember? When I came by to write the check for Dave. But beyond all of that, I have gotten extremely sucked back into
Oh,
a huge one of my favorite stories ever told.
He's playing it right now.
I'm actually not playing it. I'm pulling it up. I am on chapter 44 of Boruto Naruto Next Generation.
Oh yeah.
Which is, I mean, these are chapters. It's a pretty hefty. It's not as long as other ones. There's only about 80. I believe there's 80. Yes, exactly.
Not that
80.
long, bro. It just keeps scrolling.
Yeah, no.
It's not that long.
It's
Hold on,
still
hold on.
going,
You'll
bro.
see. I'm almost
You'll
there.
see how long they are. It's like a whole whole So yeah. Oh, I don't want to see any of this. So I'm on chapter 44.
She's like, fuck.
I'm really literally, guys. I'm really sucked
I'm in a
into
fight.
it.
Wow,
because it's
why
they have this.
Let me
story.
ask why.
Yeah, let me
For any
ask.
Boruto
Yes.
haters out there, okay? Maybe like me, I'm just a hater because everyone else is.
Here's
hating.
what I'll
I don't
say.
really know anything
Exactly.
about Boruto.
Here's what I'll say. Any person who does not like Boruto has not read it. It's just the truth. It's just the truth.
Okay.
I was talking to Dorian
That's
about
fair.
this because him and I were haters as of 2 or 3 weeks ago. Because of
you
the
just
ending,
told me this like 2 days
Yes.
ago that you were like getting into it.
JJK, yes.
Yeah.
JJK ended, which was pretty big on me.
He's sad now.
Right? I'm a sad man.
Oh yeah.
I was very into that story. I will say, I am a little bit not satisfied with the ending. I'll say that for sure. But
You've
I will
already
also,
been on record saying
Yes.
that, and I'm with you.
So
Yeah.
so what I'll say as well to
This
that,
is like the consensus
Is the-
too, by the way, right?
the consensus of like what people
like
feel.
JJK.
Yeah, not a lot of
you
people
just
are happy with it.
yeah.
I've been week to week since months and months and months and months now. This whole year actually, I've been week to week. But I want to say I don't believe the ending is bad. I'm not personally satisfied though, and me and Dorian kind of talked a lot about this because it's something we kind of had to talk about. Because the truth of the matter is, it's not a bad story. It's just not storytelling that might be my favorite style. It does not mean that there are huge mistakes that I am like so frustrated or not answered or
Maybe
oh
you
my
just
gosh.
didn't get to the level of
But
depth
it's
that you wanted.
yes, but it's not bad storytelling.
Right.
And so I thought about that for a while. This idea that maybe it's just not your style of storytelling does not mean it's bad.
Right.
It brought me to Boruto because Naruto, and you can vouch for this, Sam, because we lived together. Naruto, before One Piece, Naruto was my favorite anime. It was one of the best, and I hopped on this late.
By the way, he started the
very
grind
late.
after we lived here.
I think it was about 2 years in. I think. Or at least a year and a half.
think One Piece was 2 years in.
One Piece was 2
and
years
you
in,
were
yes.
you
It
you
was, like,
came off
pretty
of
soon into the
Naruto
house, actually.
basically straight
Yes.
into One Piece.
So my thing about Naruto, a lot of people have this nostalgia built on it. I don't. I don't have that for it.
Yeah.
I objectively watched Naruto, the original series plus Shippuden, skipped all the filler, watching what the story was truly about and if it was worth truly watching because it is one of the most hyped anime of all time. Freaking one of the EDM artists had an entire Naruto section with remix music and visuals all built around Naruto.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
So and you see so many people with Akatsuki, those red clouds
So
on.
many.
So many people
It's
love this
ridiculous.
series. So I really wanted to objectively look at it, and I was blown away. It is some of the best
good.
shonen stories.
It's
Have you
good.
seen a bit of it?
I've watched a lot of
Okay.
Naruto, like
Yes,
the original.
the
Didn't
original.
watch it all the way through, but
But you saw
if you
like
played
Rock
the
Lee versus Gaara.
yeah,
right?
yeah, you.
Oh my!
If you
gosh.
watch
the
that
Chunin
shit,
exams?
oh my gosh, yeah, the shooting.
Come on, bro! Like
Oh.
genuinely, it's some of the best anime there is out there.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of anime. I have watched, and this is coming from someone who's finished One Piece. I believe I'm qualified enough to say that it is one of the best shonen that is ever out there. Naruto as a character, the reason the show is called Naruto is because he is this guiding hand to those who truly want to live in delusion and want to live in pain. There's a lot of people out there in our society. It's a commentary on our society who decide.
Well, it's a
because
common trope in
it's a huge trope.
in recent
Yeah.
things we've been talking about.
Huge. This idea of pain and how you want to spread that pain. Naruto comes from a really rough background. He did not have a good childhood.
No.
one was there for him. He didn't have friends. He didn't have family. He didn't have
He
loved
was an
ones.
outsider.
He was a complete outsider. And he took that to put so much care and love into people because he had at least 3 people reach their hand out to him. And it saved him from despair. It's such an
Right.
incredible story.
Well, what I'm not hearing, Joshy, is anything about
Exactly.
Boruto.
So I want to, but I feel I need to emphasize that because
That's a good point.
No, that's
truthfully,
fair.
no,
That's
I
fair.
need to-
But
I
I
need
want
to
you to know,
explain-
I'm probably coming
explain
from
my
a
point.
place
Hold
where I'm
the fuck
defending
up.
that.
Let me.
In no way am I
Yeah.
saying anything against Naruto or Naruto Shippuden.
Absolutely.
And two things
So
that
let me
I
get to
think
my
most
point.
people
Yes.
could tell you know that these
Yes.
are highly revered.
highly revered.
So why is Boruto?
Because it is,
worth.
Sam, this series is more important to me than just a regular show. It's not just a show to me. It's one of the most impactful experiences I've ever had. And so
So is it just because it's
let me
more?
Let me explain. Boruto is the conclusion to Naruto. It is the continuation. And to have this feeling on my heart that one of my favorite series of all time has this stain, because every person who doesn't watch the show is like, what's the
I like
point?
it. You
Naruto,
admitted that too.
Naruto,
Stain?
yeah, it's a stain because the whole
Like a
series was
flag.
gold, and then there's this shit. That's how
Boruto.
people explain it, right?
The shit
That's
stain
what
of
you hear,
Naruto.
right? That's what
Yeah.
you hear.
No, I do.
But I'm gonna be honest with you. Any person who reads it or watches it falls in love with this story and falls in love with the characters. But anyone from the outside, aka me, Dorian, Trepto, Adrel, any person who isn't watching it, right? You've heard it. Even Robbie, when I changed the house,
I've heard it not
to
even
Baus,
from this
right?
friend group.
Exactly.
Same thing.
Because these people are truly not giving it a chance.
Yes.
They see it as this like oh well, Naruto concluded. I was so into Naruto, why would there be a sequel series? And I felt that way. So to truly, as a person who loves this series so much, and the reason I need to emphasize how much I love that series is because to feel that negative emotion towards the end and the continuation to one of my favorite series is a stain on my love for Naruto, which is immense. So I wanted, as a reader of manga and as a viewer of anime, because I've watched the Boruto movie, which came out before, and I've watched multiple episodes of Boruto now. I truthfully am so glad I approached this show and this story I'm reading the manga. I am so happy I approached it because there is so much to adore about this series. And not only is it a fantastic continuation to see where the story of Naruto truly evolves, it is fascinating in its own right. I deeply enjoy these new characters.
Would you say,
and I am so satisfied
if I'm
with where I'm at right now.
Yeah, I hear you. I hope you know too.
Yes.
If I'm understanding you,
Yes.
Boruto is a rare example of what your fictional mind would hope to expand of any said anime or universe or game. If we could get more, the fleeting dream is more, and Boruto is the more, and it's done well.
I believe it's done well, but I believe the true issue comes down to whatever that Redditor said, the incredible Redditor who we had quoted.
Yes.
I wish we could remember his name because I reference him a lot. I truly reference him a lot. This idea
I'm gonna look
of where Naruto goes in his life, where Sasuke goes, where Sakura goes, where Kakashi and all these characters that you truly fall deeply in love with. This idea builds hype in your head. And when you see something that is not what you've built in your own canon head, you as a person feel disappointed. But once you get over that aspect, this idea that, you know what, it was never real in the first place. What you wanted to happen never actually existed. Once you can get over that, truthfully, you have yourself in a situation where you are open to the possibilities of what comes next. What is the story trying to tell? And Boruto, I believe, is telling this incredible story. I have teared up during this manga. I have felt incredible things. I felt this throwback to Naruto in this really fun way while having such a new positive spin on it, while also getting to see where these characters went. You know what I mean? And some of them, it's not the way I wish the characters would go, you know? But it doesn't make it any worse. Right. Because that's my perception that I'm throwing onto a story. And I believe that's a lot of people. Like Dorian, one of his big things is he was like, he didn't really like the direction that Naruto went at the very end.
Like Shippuden?
Shippuden, the very, very end. Who ended up being the final villain, what the final fights were like. He wasn't crazy about it. And this expands on that and that lore that is kind of brought up at the very end. Me personally, I find it fascinating. And I also think you can say the same thing about JJK, where it's like, it doesn't mean it's bad writing. Maybe it's not what you wanted to see, right? But it doesn't make it bad writing. And there's no part of it that has to be deemed bad, right? So I'll say from on chapter 44, I think I have more than halfway through this first series, which, by the way, there's a second series, which is basically the Shippuden called, I reported on this when it first came out.
You did.
Boruto 2 Blue Vortex. It's the time skip. It's just like Shippuden. And I am so excited to find out what this is all about.
You hear the excitement?
Yes.
Genuinely.
That's where I'm at. I'm like, I can feel
fixated on it. I will sit down and just read chapter after chapter after chapter.
Hell yeah, man.
I am seriously impressed.
I'm stoked for you, bro.
I really am excited about it. And I'm enjoying it so deeply, and I'm glad that I did not allow
Bless you, Johnny.
Silently,
bro.
My man was sneezing a bit.
Are you do you need like a Kleenex?
No,
Oh,
dude.
okay.
I'm stuffed up from work. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
Get one of those clears. Get the thing that was on
It doesn't work all the time.
What Johnny, what have you been doing, bro? You've been you doing Helldivers 2 still?
Oh yeah, but I haven't been playing that much. I've been pretty busy.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
Busy
Well,
man.
you said you haven't been really working out, so I imagine gaming's probably fallen off the wayside a little bit too. Yeah.
I did play video games with Jade though. And
Okay.
we've been playing Borderlands 3 on split screen.
You were telling me that off cast, baby.
Very cool.
How's that been? Like for a co-op experience? And you also said Jade like also isn't like
She's not
maybe not
coordinated.
right? Like you know like people who have gamer roots.
Yeah,
Like if they're very far out.
Pick up a
I think of my
controller,
father as a great example. There is no way my father without serious dedication could pick up the game Halo. He just cannot get the concept of moving and like a twin axis thing, right?
Sure.
It's like if you I don't know. Like I feel so blessed that we were so young. We got used to it.
We were raised on it.
We were raised
that's
on
all
it.
we know.
So it's like it's so natural, right? I played Halo when I was like in 6th grade. Like, you know what I mean?
Totally.
So you said Jade, that's not really like a natural thing for her. Right?
Actually, when she got with me, she bought me a PlayStation 4 Pro. Remember I told you guys this?
Right.
And
This is back in Mich?
this is back in Michigan. And
Yeah,
then when we moved back
Tried to sneak that in, didn't you?
Wait, back in Mich, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
back in the Mish.
Back in the marsh? Back in Mishy Marsh?
Back in the marsh, eh?
Mission Marsh.
You know that Pokemon Mish Stomp?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mish.
Mizzou.
Like
Swampy
Steamboat
Mizzou.
Willie, right? It's like a mix of Steamboat Willie,
Which we're allowed to.
Swampert, and Pokemon.
We're allowed to talk about Steamboat Willie.
We might get sued by Pokemon.
No,
so
we
just
can't.
keep on the DL.
We can't because it's free in Lansing.
Might be some like not copyright, but like a patent.
It's
we
a
have
patent, yeah.
Yeah.
So we patent
don't
the
say
ability to talk about Steamboat Willie.
We
Steam.
Steam.
The abused dolphin noise. It's not a dolphin, actually.
Yeah.
That's the sad
It's a bird.
truth. It's a bird.
No, it's not.
Yep, it's a bird's mating call. I actually looked it up. I was going to show you guys last episode.
There's no way in hell, dude.
Oh yeah, bro.
No way in
Check it
hell.
out. Just look up SpongeBob sailor mouth noise or sound. You'll see the truth. Anyways, while you're looking that up, Joshy, how's that been going with Borderlands 3 though?
Okay, so Jade has played RPGs before.
Okay.
But Jade hasn't played a first-person shooter consistently. So I'm teaching her like momentum, just regular shooting mechanics, and then Borderlands 3 also throws a little more extra stuff into specializing in guns and what different guns do and stuff.
Okay, can I click on this?
Different
real quick?
firing
Oh,
modes,
yeah.
stuff like that.
Okay. Top comment on this one is, I never heard a dolphin sound like this in real life. And then the second is, crabs is and then 2 dolphin emojis.
Crabs is
Crabs is
His third comment, oh, you said number 11.
So back to Jade.
Yeah. So teaching her 3D space, like
Oh, yes.
in a first-person game, is what this game is teaching her, and then cycling through like skill trees and stuff like that. So kind of a learning curve there, but it's also fun for me because I love Borderlands. So it's not a big deal with.
Oh yeah.
And you can set different. So if you play split screen or multiplayer on Borderlands 3, let's say I was a higher player and you were like a noob, right?
Okay.
If we joined
You're a
into a
noob,
lobby,
I'm always in there.
my loot wouldn't affect your loot, and vice versa.
So, like, we get the same drops,
Yep.
or we each get a roll?
You get your own shit.
I get my own rolls.
Yeah, yeah.
You get your own rolls.
Yeah.
Do we get the same items, or do I literally, I'm asking, like,
No,
do I
it's
get
not the same items.
It's not
so,
the same.
Yeah,
Right,
remember,
okay.
it's impossible
That's
to
cool.
get the best guns. Like,
Yeah.
all of them. It's impossible.
That sounds amazing, because, do you ever play, like, World of Warcraft?
Oh, yeah.
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 Like, the way that, especially OG, the older you get, before WoW, like, evolved a lot, was
I jumped in
you
the
run a
Panda one,
dungeon.
bro.
The Panda.
Yeah.
Yes, I jumped in right before that Cataclysm.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yes.
So there was Miss Pandaria, right? Miss Pandaria was the best.
I remember seeing the
expansion.
trailers for it.
That
thinking
was
it
so peak.
crazy.
Dude, the way it did loot was you run a dungeon, which is a 5-man.
Right.
You could go step up, which would be raids. Early in raiding was not fun. Raiding was 25 people. You
yeah.
might make it,
Yeah.
right? Raiding has gotten a lot more user friendly, but
Damn.
OG WoW was not
Right.
like it was meant to be tough as
Right.
nails.
Remember,
right?
the one kid, because he played the game too long, right?
Oh yeah, I
Right?
remember that.
Yeah, remember South Park?
I also
There's
remember the
some
South Park
realness
episode,
right?
Yes.
So the way
The pal.
He's taking a shit.
the way dungeons run,
Bucket.
let me give some nostalgia trip.
I
The way- The way dungeons run now is very easy. You click Q on a little icon and you go like queue up for dungeon to get the 5-man. You're probably in the dungeon loading in within 5 seconds.
Sure.
Right? So millions of people are playing.
Yeah, sure.
Right? The way it used to work, they didn't have a queue or anything like that.
got
You had
lobby.
to physically get your ass over to where the dungeon is, just like a raid. And if you wanted a group of 5, you had to get them into your party and get over there. So people would go into the capital cities
Yeah.
and just keep typing LFG, looking for group, looking for group, right? If you ever hear looking for a group as a meme, it's from World of Warcraft.
Oh, wow.
That's where it originated,
Wow.
right? So
That's funny.
you get a group of 5 to go to a dungeon because of the loot. So you get in there, fuck the gold or anything else. It's
Yeah.
literally about these crazy drops.
Right.
Some of them are mounts, like a really rare looking, like crazy dragon looking mount
Yeah.
that has a 0.05% chance drop from this boss, right?
Jeez.
That you need 5 people. Guess what? The roll happens and one person from the party gets rolled for whatever drops. I think you could. Raids did this. Do you remember this, Johnny? Like, you could opt in for the roll or opt out for the roll.
Right.
So they that was an early game system. So so if you had like a captain of the raid, the captain was the only one who got the roll in some groups or something, right? So you'd be going on these dungeons, literally just like solo leveling,
Right.
and you're going for the rare loot,
gonna say
but
something.
just the powerful players get the loot. You're just there. You get gold. You get like
Experience.
experience. Yep, you level up. But you don't get like the real reason you're there, which is the loot.
That's why you want to become better.
Exactly.
Wow.
Well, the game has evolved,
Yeah.
so you can run old dungeons by yourself because you're
Right.
powerful, right?
Right.
The level cap went up,
Yeah, it kept going up every time.
Wow.
so base WoW was like level 50, I think, right?
World shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they also make it so each level cap, if it's 5 levels, that is not only is an exorbitant amount of experience, you're also exorbitantly stronger. Like a level 65 will destroy a level 60.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then you go back to the raids and it's easy.
Right.
Well, me and Caleb used to run in Mr. Pandaria. We would run all these dungeons, just the 2 of us, bro. And we got this one roll on a boss that was a mount, and the mount was incredible.
Did you guys both get it? Or?
He got the mount and I got the weapon. There was a weapon he dropped that was a legendary weapon, and it was like this crazy, like some, like the things you pay for that you were talking about in Brawl Stars.
Yeah.
This is like at a time before microtransactions, so you got the most powerful, unique, and it showed it cosmetically. Like you could have this
fun.
crazy armor that's on fire
Yeah.
because you got a crazy rare 1% drop.
Sounds like it done.
Right.
It was like a little bit of like.
I went on kind of
showboating.
a big tangent there about loot, but we were talking off cast. Borderlands, I think, really defined and invented the looter shooter genre,
Looter shooter.
like Destiny.
Yeah,
Right? Destiny definitely is influenced from Borderlands.
The Division.
The
The
Division.
Division, I never played the
I
Division.
never did either.
It's okay.
I heard it was good,
alright.
actually. I heard it was really unique. It had like that area where it was like a free for all.
Yeah.
What was that called?
Yeah. Well.
Like the the no zone or something like that. Like it's like only go in there if you're like ready for anybody can kill you at any time and take your loot.
Yeah.
That sounds terrifying.
Damn it.
Yeah, you know.
I played this game, bro.
Yeah.
I beat it.
Been having fun though with Borderlands 3?
Yeah.
You think you're gonna beat it with her?
She's not really a dedicated gamer. And
Okay.
on top of that, like, I have to be, no offense to her, but like, she likes to play like these like party games all the time, which is fun, but I don't
What's, like,
get
a party
entertained.
game she plays?
Like we play Make Way, we'll play like
Make Way,
games
yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
We'll just play like a game of
A game that's
like
like
a fun
silly
secret,
fun.
yeah.
Fun, yeah.
Not like game with like depth.
lore
Depth
and story.
or like strategy to the true like gameplay.
Oh yeah.
Like she'll play like, you know, anything I pretty much ask her. That's what she's doing.
Oh, yeah.
But like it took a while for her to even get coordinated enough to even attempt.
Makes sense to me.
Oh yeah, bro. Well, I wanted to tell you guys two things. Number one, Kendall and I finished Danganronpa.
Oh yeah.
The series.
Yes.
I genuinely, it's kind of sadly, I mean, I don't know how they could have like done better, but the game is so much better.
Oh,
That's
really?
what I gotta say. I think the anime did really
The
good
best they could.
justice. Kendall, there's a big plot reveal at the end, and that's what I love about these games is that the plot twist at the end of Danganronpa you truly don't see coming.
Really?
The way they handled it, Kendall's reaction, she was pretty damn shocked, which that's awesome. And Kendall's actually hard to like shock, right? If anything, she'll be confused and it won't hit her in the same way of a shock effect that maybe the medium's going for. Like a Paranoid Agent, where it's hitting you and me like, whoa. She's like, I have no idea what's going on, right? Which we also finished, by the way. I don't know if we talked about that.
Yeah, we didn't talk about it on the cast, but we talked about it outside of it.
Okay.
Because we went into the whole idea of the ties between Moromi and Shonen Bat.
Yes.
And then the whole idea of Ikari and Maniwan.
You're right. It was all off cast.
Mentally, yeah. We talked all off cast. I will say, Paranoid Agent is one of my favorite.
That is it's an absolute 10. I think
it's
it
an
actually.
absolute 10.
I would have probably. Can I be real? I'd probably give it a 9, if not for the year it came out and the art style and direction it took. It's so unique that bumps it for me to a 10.
See, that bumps it up for me.
That's what I'm saying.
Because I'm all
it's
about a
so
unique style.
and it's so original.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. There are not a lot of anime you'll see where the characters look the way they do. And to be completely honest with you, it's much higher quality from what I've seen. Ghibli has a lot of very interesting looking designed characters. An older character will look a lot older than other traditional anime. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And
Nice.
and that,
He got it, baby.
and that can be said for also like Perfect Blue or Paprika, which are other things made by the same director. Movies though, where it's like got that almost like it's like a movie style quality where you're not gonna make all the characters look pretty similar. They're all going to be very vast and different.
Yes.
And me personally, I think that bumps it up for me. You know.
So going back to Danganronpa, I want to say like, I loved it. She loved it, so that's fantastic. So I see then from like I think an unbiased perspective that the anime is very good because. In my eyes...
Even though you have another perspective.
Yeah, and it's just because I know way too much. Because I'm such a fan of the series, because I played through the game completely 3 times, and the first time being a fan translation, so I didn't even get the official localization. So it's slightly kind of different with how they write it with the actual localization, you know? That's one of the only examples I know the difference in anything, really. I'm pretty sure. Even like very few anime I've ever watched both the sub and the dub, you know what I mean? So the thing that the game does, it's a 40-hour reading game.
So a visual novel.
It is.
Which is a lot of reading.
Yeah, like it literally is like playing through a manga. So I'm sure this might even be like your kind of vibe. I know you say anime does an amazing job translating from manga, but aren't there details in the manga that... Yeah, good anime, you're right. But can't you even tell me, even in the good ones, there's still more detail in the manga, the original
source.
I
mean, like I said, it depends on the story. I think there's a lot of details that can be misconstrued, and it's also really hard to translate something that is a still image into a 3D environment. I honestly did not know if Attack on Titan could do it very well, because I, pretty famously watched read the manga.
You read the manga like 2 years before.
2 years before the actual ending came out. And I want to say about that is I did not know if they could truly translate that ending. That ending that you...
And if I'm not mistaken about AOT specifically,
yes.
They do intentionally... I mean, there's things that are slightly different. There's things that slightly censor what the manga actually has.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Censoring for sure. But even on another hand, it's like, how do you translate such an intentional frame of a piece? And I want you to kind of think of that ending, the whole... I know you haven't finished. I don't want to spoil too much, but that tree...
You can make it big.
Right,
yeah.
the tree that we see.
Yes.
We see a lot in the anime, but there were only a select few panels we saw in the manga. And that's something to think about when it comes to what does that leave with the watcher or the reader? Or what are you truly supposed to feel? And how much are you truly supposed to see?
Right.
It takes an incredible anime to be able to translate that in a proper way, and I think Attack on Titan is a really good example. And from what it sounds like Danganronpa is a similar way without a manga.
I would,
right?
To be real, I'm going to give it a 7.
Yeah.
Okay?
7?
So if that gives you an idea of where I'm at, and for me, that's coming from the game, is a 10. Game is a 10. I think because, I don't know, maybe this is why I also think
sniff away from the video.
Yeah.
Dude, that reminded me of that Chocolate Rain video.
Chocolate
You guys
Rain.
watch it? Chocolate Rain. Those aim driving others feel the pain. Chocolate Rain. And then he moves away from the mic to breathe. Do you remember that? And then in the video it says, I moved away from the mic to breathe.
I didn't know
it said that. Chocolate Rain. Those aim driving others feel the pain. Chocolate Rain.
Fucking funny. Okay, can I say? Let me say this.
So much of it.
That's
because no.
Sorry, bro. It was it's more
Johnny,
of like I hate when people like sneeze and like on like
in
camera.
my
no, it's perfect.
No, it was just because he was like
he's calling you out, bro.
I know I'm not trying to, but it genuinely made me laugh and it reminded me so.
Look how cute the motor.
I know, sweet baby.
No, I'll say this.
Yes.
I think the reason I can sum it up is that as a video game, Danganronpa is extremely unique. As an anime, it's competing with a bunch of other top tier anime, especially nowadays. We have a lot of top tier 9, 10, 12, 13 episode animes, okay?
Totally.
So it's competing in that space.
Totally.
And it just didn't leave me feeling like I really wanted to watch another season, right?
Very interesting.
And that's, again, I fucking love Danganronpa.
Right,
so
right.
I didn't really expect to feel that way, and that's it's the feeling I'm having that's making me translate.
So you're a little bit disappointed.
I'm a little jaded, yeah. And I just don't, but again, I don't know. The only way I could foresee how they could make it better would be if it was not as short.
If it was a video game that you could control.
Could you imagine?
You imagine, yeah.
No, they do a lot of really clever things to make it show off the way they do the truth bullets and the way that the comebacks hit, but it just kind of... It's too fast.
Yeah,
there's so much that happens in Danganronpa.
Slow down. That
it's literally beat nonstop, which is great when you're watching it.
Especially if you don't know what's gonna happen.
It's like
he seems to have really enjoyed it. Right?
Oh, for sure. And that's the thing is she enjoyed it, so I appreciate that. Right? For taking that in from an unbiased perspective. Yeah. But imagine Naruto. We were just talking about. Naruto's really long. Yeah. Imagine if Naruto was one season. How would you feel? How would that be possible?
Yeah, it wouldn't work.
That's how I feel.
I am with you 100% because I have a perfect example.
Okay.
Berserk.
Berserk
was translated from...
I've seen the books.
Yeah, exactly. It's a large amount. They translated multiple volumes into a 3-trilogy movie. And it's impossible. It's impossible. You literally have to cut content from the story. That's a perfect example I'll give you because I've also read the manga. I've read...
context.
Yeah.
Context.
That's right.
Yes.
That's absolutely right.
I actually heard context. I could be tripping.
Yeah, no.
Johnny's on it, though.
Yeah, he is. I will say, though...
Live fact checker. Hey,
he's on it.
Straight. Hold the hell up.
That's right, buddy. No, but
Jamie.
when I first watched it, right? When I first watched this trilogy, I was very impressed. I was extremely impressed. And it was fast paced, right? There's not a lot of moments of slowing down.
Okay, yeah.
But for what it is, I remember being very fast, very into it. Sounds like what Kendall felt.
Yeah.
And I then read the manga afterwards, and I was almost blown away by how much is missing in those movies. And I've rewatched them since, and I'm like, that just doesn't work the same. It just does not work because this is missing, and then these parts you need to slow down this part, which is why I'm very happy with the Memorial Edition anime, which is a 12 episoder. They turned the the trilogy into a 12 episode anime. It might be 13 episode exclusively on Crunchyroll. It's a very they have more animated scenes and a lot of great stuff, but still, it's just
12 episodes.
It's just 12 episodes.
Right.
You really can't adapt what needs to be
I'll
adapted.
give you one contrast that I can think of.
Yes.
Where actually I was extremely impressed with the length and how good it executed on it. And that is Pokemon Origins. Because Pokemon Origins are 45-minute episodes, I'm pretty sure.
You sure?
Yeah, and there's 4 of them.
Right.
So it summarizes all of Pokemon the first season in a different way. Instead of it being Ash and the gang, it's Red versus Blue, and it's 4 episodes. Like it goes through the Elite Four. The Elite Four. Johnny, where was that fact check, bro?
I'm sorry.
Where's my
Johnny?
tongue twister?
Sorry, I was listening.
No, but and I'm gonna say right now, I recommend everybody, including you guys, watch Pokemon Origins because it's 4 episodes, and it is better than Pokemon Indigo League, in my opinion. Just as far as like an anime, a solid ass anime goes, it's badass.
Yeah.
It's incredibly
also
well
adapting.
animated. It's very adapting, and it time skips. You kind of fill in the gaps because you know what happens. So it's like suddenly he gets to like the 3rd episode, I think. And so then Red went on his journey and he got to the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th badge. So he kind of time skips through like...
I'm like, what the fuck? How did he do that?
What happened, bro?
Damn,
he
this
just
guy's
got
a boss.
stronger.
Holy
His Charizard actually fucking listens to him.
Right.
Let me say that.
Unlike Ash.
Let me say that much.
Which he stopped listening when he was a Charmeleon.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because remember, he would just chill.
And how... Can I be real?
Yeah.
Just on that note. Since the ADHD's taking me there. I'm really upset. Okay, with the fact that as an adult, I'm looking back at all of that, and I'm like, okay, Ash, you motherfucker.
Bitch.
Ash fucking took your... No, I'm talking to Charizard.
Oh, shit.
Ash took your ass out of the rain when you were going to die. And he saved your life when you didn't have a trainer, and he did what everyone was telling him not to do.
That's right.
And this is how you repay him? By being a snobby little brat?
Yeah.
Are you serious? Right? Charizard is literally the epitome of a teenager. And that's Charizard, right?
Yeah.
He was only
a little aggravated.
He was only Charmeleon for 1 episode.
Yeah, Ash is
And I
actually
remember-
extremely patient.
Yeah, I remember being frustrated with that because you get so much time with
Charmander.
Charmander.
Right.
And
He's
then
a little whiny. and he
one
can't even
episode with
fight.
Charmeleon, and then he's Charizard for the rest of the series.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I will say
He's a brat.
he is. I will say real quick, I
favorite.
do need to use the bathroom.
Oh, you know what?
Very bad.
I should beat you.
Let's
go.
do it.
All right. Joshy, we're officially back
Officially back
now.
Yes.
Yes. We took an extensive break. Reese came over once again. We had kind of a repeat of last week and hanging out and Johnny.
Yeah.
So once again, Johnny is no longer with us.
Rest in power, my friend. Rest in power.
So but you know what I love about Johnny is he's just down for whatever.
He's of course
Yes,
he is.
dude.
He's down for whatever. We also got some food.
As we all are. Yeah.
Which
So,
Reese is still joining us in the room.
yes.
Again, say hi, Reese.
Shut up.
Hello.
Yes,
Hey,
Reese is still here,
yeah.
baby.
Yeah.
So we might end up wrapping the main topic on Friday because we both have a little bit of extra time in the morning. On
I
Friday.
have yes. I
Because you
have
said
no
you
work.
have it off. Yeah.
Friday.
So if we need to, let's do that. But
Sure.
otherwise, we will just continue. At least while your laundry is going.
That's right.
Just threw it in
Yeah,
the washer.
I just did. I just want to hang it up. That's all I care about doing.
Yeah,
I
easy.
also I do once again work a double tomorrow.
Yes.
I'll
yes.
be up early.
Yeah, so I'm not trying to kill you either. But
Okay.
I completely know the vibe. It's not going to be long before I'm going to be knee deep in double work myself. So, Joshua, with that being said, let's jump to our first official segment.
Yes.
Which has a jingle.
Yes.
It goes something like...
It goes like this.
Newsflash.
Newsflash. Newsflash.
Oh, yeah.
Newsflash. Newsflash. Newsflash.
Oh, really? Got
Get
some
him with the news.
Let's hit with the news.
Let's get
Joshy,
into
I wanna
it.
say real
Yes.
quick, Phoenix, Arizona. This bright and sunny day, as we mentioned in
It's
pregame,
so sunny
it's still
outside
hot
right now.
as. Especially, yeah. Shout out from Reese. Reese knows.
Yeah.
It's not just coming from Morgan either. I promise you. It's legitimately 106 high today. I thought it was even 105.
Yeah,
but
it was more.
dude, it's
was.
October. What the hell's happening?
Well, it
So-
looks like it dips down a little bit in the next week.
Yes.
Right.
Exactly, dude.
It's about
My
the
fingers are.
80s.
Please.
Yeah, it says 80s. I'm hoping. Finally.
I just want to say, I hope it doesn't do what it did like 2 years ago, where it literally went from like 100. Do you remember? It like jumped from 100. It was so hot like this, and then it skipped over everything and went straight to 60, and it never came back.
I don't remember.
You don't? I remember it was literally, it was so hot, and then we got such a freaking cold winter immediately. We had no fall.
Yeah, maybe.
It was like 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years.
So I'm praying we get a fall, because I love fall.
I love fall too. I think we might skip it.
We might.
It looks like it might.
The winter is
Possibly,
it's still amazing.
Possibly.
Hey, I'm seeing
Yeah.
87.
87.
Let's go, baby.
Yes.
Joshy, what do we got cooking in the Josh Mation station?
In the Josh Mason station.
Today,
Well,
baby.
I got some more news.
Okay.
Mostly animated related.
Great.
But I definitely wanted to talk about one thing for sure. But I feel like I do this quite a bit. Which is reporting on an important death, which happens quite a bit. Unfortunately,
It's worth honoring.
I believe
You
it
know what I
completely
mean?
is. So, the original Dragon Ball Z narrator has died at the age of
What?
76. This is the OG guy, Doc Harris, who has literally been, who did the original English dub, and back when it first came out, Dragon Ball Z,
Wow,
that is.
man.
And that's why anytime you hear something like a last time on Dragon Ball Z,
Yes,
it was that
it's
guy,
that
Doc
guy.
Harris. So huge shout out to him. Huge shout out, obviously, but
Doc
also
Harris, man.
rest in peace
Um,
for real this time.
yeah.
and not like John.
But we get to exemplify and lift up his creative works.
That's
that
right.
Will be forever
yes,
like a
I feel
lasting
like there were
impression
a
on
lot
our
of
lives, man. You know?
deaths this year, right?
Yeah.
Like big anime.
Oh
dubbing.
yeah, man. I didn't even there was somebody who died that in Harry Potter. I think it's the Dumbledore house or the no Dumbledore house. Right? The head of that?
the head of the Dumbledore house.
Not Dumbledore. Griffin not Gryffindor.
No.
The other Hufflepuff.
You mean
Is it?
No, it's
It's not even her.
Professor McGonagall.
It is Professor.
She's not like the head of anything. I don't
What
think.
is she?
She's just like a lead.
She's just
professor,
a professor.
or not? Maybe yeah, she's a professor.
She's
but
not
she's
like
also
a head of a house.
No, they don't have heads of houses.
Yeah, they do.
Who's the head of each
Snape
house?
is head of.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
Who's the head of Gryffindor? Dumbledore.
Dumbledore.
No, that's not true.
Yes.
He's the head of the school. There's no heads of the houses.
Reese, fact check. Yeah, well, I'll believe you then. Okay, I'll take it. Yeah.
I'll look it up.
I didn't
because
grow up on Harry Potter. Low key, it was one
I
of
did,
those,
though.
later
wise,
ventures. So, anyways,
I'm
what do you got cooking
Heads
for
of the
this?
house.
Oh yeah,
Harry
okay, we're
Potter.
gonna fact check.
Oh, it says there is. You're right. And you're right. McGonagall was the head of Gryffindor. I did not know this.
Gryffindor?
Oh, yeah.
It was Gryffindor.
Yes.
Okay. So Dumbledore.
And Helga Hufflepuff. The fuck? It's the head of the Hufflepuff. And also,
funny.
what? Sprout. This is wild stuff. I did not know this. This is news to
We're
me.
all learning here
This is
together,
all news to me, yeah.
baby. Yeah, news. Funny you say that, huh?
My own personal little reportings I want to talk about was I reported about this a long time ago, which is wild because I basically announced that Dun Da Dun was getting an anime,
You did.
and the first episode came out for the anime,
shit.
and I watched it.
Actually.
Yes, I wanted
And?
to say it is amazing. It's really good, incredible animation. It's really funny. I really like the pacing in the first episode, and I hope it kind of keeps up the same pacing it's working with.
Okay. Good dub?
Yeah, the dub was really good.
Okay.
I watched the dub, and I thought it was really, really good. It's on Netflix, so I think it's just going to be
On
coming out
Netflix
weekly.
also? Oh,
Excuse me.
That was deep.
That was a Cali Miss, was what it was.
Cali Miss is what that
So
was.
I thought it was really freaking good.
Hey, hell yeah. I actually,
I really enjoyed it.
you just reminded me too that Uzumaki, right?
Yes,
you
we
announced
watched
that last week.
Yes.
Kendall and I watched the first episode. Oh my!
I watched it with you. Sam,
It's like deja vu, but it's
What's
the
happening?
wrong kind, bro.
Uzumaki was
But
very good.
Uzumaki, the second episode just dropped.
The second episode did.
Yesterday.
And I watched it.
Did you?
Yes.
And?
I really liked it.
Is it a cohesive story?
Yeah, looks
Okay.
like it.
Okay.
I mean, it looks like a lot of crazy things that kind of happen
Yeah.
together. And they're kind of getting even crazier. Like, it's like...
Yeah, the first episode already, I feel like that was a big chunk of what the first preview was shown in the first episode.
Yes.
So it makes me really curious what
Yes.
else is in this freaking show.
It's wild. It really is wild. There's a lot of people worried because some people think the animation kind of dropped off. I didn't really notice. I didn't really think so.
Okay.
But also I watch a lot of anime, so I always know that animation just isn't always
Like consistent?
consistent.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
just how.
Seven Deadly Sins. Is
That's,
anyone
that's
to
probably
say?
worse than most.
You're right. You're
That's
right.
probably
It's pretty
more-
jarring.
But like something like Naruto, like it'll have some really good animation, and then it'll have some iffy parts.
yeah.
It's anime. It's just
No,
like the
for
way
sure.
it works. It's like some parts are very well animated, very detailed,
Yeah.
and then sometimes they're not.
No.
And it's
And
just
the
how it
same
works.
is in games too, but
It is
yes,
just
absolutely.
how it goes.
Did you have something else?
There's not really much else besides Dandan coming out, and
Okay.
I suppose Uzumaki.
Okay. Yeah.
That I've been kind of. Actually, I did want to talk about this. I heard that possibly a new Berserk chapter
Oh.
will be coming out pretty soon.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Oh,
Which
yeah.
is exciting for me.
Yeah.
Because I love Berserk, but also it's exciting for everyone because new Berserk, more Berserk. We love that.
More Berserk.
More Berserk.
Well, I
But
got a couple things that caught my
Absolutely.
eye this week, Joshy.
Oh, yeah.
You want me to run a couple
I would
things
love
your
to.
way? No articles really that we need to dive into. I just thought it would just a couple things caught my eye.
get roll
The
into
first
it.
is that game by Atlas. Okay.
The
Metaphor Refantasio. Okay, the prologue demo is now available.
Uh-oh.
And we just now are getting review scores of the actual game.
What?
9s and 10s.
Oh,
My
okay.
man,
Good
I am
news.
excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't even looked at the demo yet. I kind of want to go into it not knowing anything.
Oh, I
but
absolutely.
I got it downloaded already, so yeah, I'm pretty stoked. Does that excite you at all?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge. I've never played a Persona game really deeply.
Yeah, yeah.
And much less so for a Shinigami Tensei.
You got it, baby.
So
yes, sir.
I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm a big fan, but I like good new IPs
You can
from big
appreciate.
studios. I like
Yeah.
new stuff.
Yes.
So I like that it's getting some love.
Right.
I didn't know how it wouldn't because that was a crazy looking game
That
from the trailer.
Trailer.
Just
I
from
gotta
like
show
the
Reese after this,
menus.
too.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
very flashy.
Looks very
I'm
flashy.
very. I'm stoked. I'm stoked to.
Yeah,
review on
I'm
it.
excited for you for someone who.
Dude,
who's
it's
trying.
crazy. We're hitting the end of the year now,
Mhm.
right? We've got all these games are dropping. You know what comes out this week?
What?
I just remembered. I
What
think
is
it
it?
comes out Thursday.
What?
Mario Party.
Oh, Jamboree.
Super Mario Party Jamboree. Which
that
by
feels like it just was announced.
dude, I know. Did you see the updates? Okay, they dropped an update that's on the Switch. You can look on the news. They have all this stuff that we didn't ask for, but fans have been wanting more. Yeah, but like
I didn't ask for this shit.
in the best way. There's they're literally having a pro mode, which is like prioritizes
you
mini
told
games
me.
that
Yes.
don't have luck involved or
Yes.
chance. So it's
No
more like
chance.
skill. Yeah, it even has it so you like everyone gets like to select an item they start the game with and stuff. They have like all this stuff that's a mix in the formula on top of traditional Mario Party, plus a map from 1 and 2. The Western one from 2. And the one from Mario Party 1, the cloud level, where you're climbing up Peach's castle, and like the star is either black or it's yellow.
Yes.
Yes, right? And if you get the black star, he would just take 30 coins instead. Yeah, what a troll.
I think it's awesome.
Well, okay, let me go to the next piece here, Joshy,
Yes.
because I'm stoked.
Talk to me.
Zelda Echoes of Wisdom speedrunner finds a way to play as Link,
Oh wow.
but a Link % run remains elusive. I thought it was fantastic because the speedrunning community is going ham with this game.
I believe.
With its like pre-patched version. Okay, I think it's They already announced that the
There's an
next
update.
update will break this, I'm pretty sure. So it's literally, there is a step-by-step instruction on this article from IGN. It is 10 steps. I'll give you the first step. First, start a brand new game. In Southern Ruins, once you gain control of Link, make a manual save of the game. From here, do not make any more manual saves. Auto saves are fine. And then it says, like, beat the prologue, and then you can make a glitch. It's just like Twilight Princess, where you, like, glitch and become the title screen Link.
Wow.
Ever tell you about that?
Yeah.
Like, so
You can ride it
speedrunners
around
are
and shit.
already going crazy.
I knew they would.
Oh, yeah.
Because this is one of those games that you could just sink your teeth into.
Dude, I'm just so amazed that it's within a week.
Yeah.
It's like 1 week later.
Oh, yeah.
The speedrunning community is literally like, usually they're focusing on older games because they're not patched anymore. They're
Sure.
like broken, you know.
Sure.
I feel like I see modern games much less in the headlines for this, but this is pretty cool. Yeah.
I like it. It makes me excited.
Shout out Zelda community.
Shout out that new game, too.
Shout out, man. The last one is just a headline that I thought was fascinating, especially because we talk about some nostalgia, especially with Johnny and like Halo in high school. So, speaking of the future of Halo, future Halo games are moving to Unreal Engine 5 as 343 Industries rebrands, and multiple projects have been announced in development.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well-
Sounds like the Halo IP under the umbrella of Microsoft is like, they're really, really being pushed right
Gonna
now.
try and
Like,
rebrand
yeah,
it.
it looks like the Xbox is putting their focus there,
Yeah.
which is
That's smart. They need to
very
get one.
smart. Very
Halo
long
Infinite
overdue.
was like, they promised something good with Halo Infinite. I feel like it didn't deliver, man. I feel like from everything I watch, it's like,
dude, here's the thing. No Halo game delivers if everyone is just forgotten about it in a month. Because that's not Halo. Halo was like,
spans years.
yes. And
It
it was
should,
like,
I mean.
it wasn't a Call of Duty feeling of you get a new one every year, the
Right.
best version. It was like, we got a sequel.
Yes.
And then we got a trilogy. And we're waiting years in between for like the next rendition, whatever it looks like. Yeah, I think the name is going to be Halo Studios. So pretty like straightforward.
Oh, wow.
Instead of just 343
There
Industries.
wasn't
but
a Halo studio?
it was 343 Industries, which was that was the branding after they purchased the Halo IP from
Oh, wow.
Bungie, and Bungie became independent. It became 343, I believe, because of one of the first missions in Halo 1.
I thought it was always
It's called
Microsoft.
343 something. Microsoft, what do you mean?
You said they bought. Who bought who?
So,
Bungie got bought? By
no. Bungie was a second-party studio
Oh.
under the umbrella of Microsoft. So that means basically Halo 1 through 3, ODST, and Reach, while it was under Microsoft, Microsoft paid for everything.
Right.
And that's like the part of like the second party. So you don't have complete creative control. It's kind of like in between an indie and a AAA. So they have creative freedom. It's less hands-on by a AAA studio.
Right.
But they still are funding your project, so they ultimately have the final say.
Gotcha.
So sometimes that means for better or for worse.
Right.
Usually, if money's the push,
Yeah.
in terms of creativity, probably for the worse. you
Sure.
know?
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, we'll actually go more into detail about that very topic when we hit our main topic.
That's very trouble.
That's very fascinating. Did you see? This just reminded me. I think I saw a headline last week
Yeah.
that I think Call of Duty just got announced that they're moving away from annual releases.
Oh, wow.
For the first time
In
like,
years.
ever.
Yeah,
It seems
ever.
like
Wow.
since I was in high school.
That's
since
amazing.
I was in high school, bro.
Wow.
That is insane.
That is wild. What was the latest games that have been coming out?
Like
Modern
Call of
Warfare?
Duty.
Yeah.
Modern Warfare
2?
3. There. Wait. Why was I gonna say Cold War? That one's old.
Cold
Call
War.
of Duty,
Been a
man.
minute since
Black Ops.
Black Ops
6.
Yeah, apparently.
What is good, my friends? Welcome once again to the official Flash Brothers podcast.
Welcome
This
in.
weekly show is essentially two best friends sharing casual discussions centered around our collective interests. Wouldn't you say, Josh?
I would say that's completely correct. In fact, I would say that's really well said.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you, brother. We got a blend, a perfect blend, you might say, a spicy blend of retro and modern topics framed around
Right.
our collective diverse interests.
That's right.
Often gaming and anime.
I would say
we'll pretty much talk about anything.
we will talk about everything.
Yes.
Everything that we want to.
Yes.
Right?
This is a very personal show,
Oh,
I would say,
absolutely.
Joshy. Our focus is set, however, on spreading positivity, positive vibes
right.
within the duality of our informal yet comprehensive and informative content.
That's
We like
right.
to keep it cash, but we also like to go deep. And I think you and I, with the passion we have
yeah.
for things,
Yeah.
we're deep divers.
I was gonna say that's almost. I would say that's an important part of the show. No,
Yes.
that's
Oh,
a
yeah.
it's a deep dive into everything that we like to do. Everything.
It's essential, man.
Yeah.
While also having a dream, Joshy, of building a vibrant community where you, at home, can become a part of the crew.
That's right.
Joshy, our episodes drop
Yes.
every Saturday at 5 a.m. with pregame dropping 24 hours in advance. I will say this is a loose schedule,
Yes.
obviously time forbid, and this is a two-man team.
That's right.
So that's the goal every week.
Yeah.
Available everywhere.
Perfect.
So personally, I like to use Spotify.
Me personally, I use YouTube
Yes.
music.
Joshy, someone might be wondering out there how they might become a part of said crew.
That's a great thing to wonder.
How they could join the community.
That's right. Join the fleet. Well,
We would
wonder no
say-
further, right?
Yes. Questions, comments, theories, discussions, and more. And more. Can be written in, my friends.
Yes, sir.
Patreon.com/Flash Bros Podcast, where you will receive direct updates, Discord access, and you can sign up and see our very special gold tier sponsorship. Gold tier sponsors. Gold tier sponsor. You might be asking.
Yes.
What is this, Josh?
That's a great question because I'm honestly wondering that.
Yeah,
We've been
well-
doing this for a minute, but I've never asked.
Well,
honestly. I should have.
I have an answer for you, buddy.
Good. It's about
It
time.
is a list of our VIP
yeah.
crew. Yes, so there's unique perks here with special recognition during each episode, access to all of our exclusive premium content available through we've got 2 miniseries right now.
That's right.
Still growing.
That's right.
And all of our Patreon only posts directly through the website. The ability to directly DM us through Patreon, as well as even send us a text message if you know us personally.
Absolutely.
Exclusive channel access within our Discord community server, and there's also a link on our Patreon, and it's absolutely free to join. And a membership lock-in.
Oh my
Josh,
gosh,
which
wait.
means there's a permanent subscription price for you.
Are you talking about like forever, or you're
Forever.
talking about like for the next couple of years?
No.
Oh, you're talking about
I'm
forever.
saying if you signed up today, $5 a month, pay that forever.
Forever.
In fact,
Yeah.
even if we all understand money issues. If
yeah.
your card declines,
Oh, yeah.
even if you get a new card,
Yeah,
you forgot
new
to
card.
update it on Patreon. Oh no! Patreon is so dope in that it's
Yes.
not one of those sites that'll just cancel.
Right.
You have to hit cancel
yourself.
manually.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
right.
So
That's right.
unless you cancel,
Yes.
you'll pay it forever.
Well, thank goodness.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
But Joshy, what if I don't want to sign up for anything?
I think that's a pretty reasonable thing, me personally. I think that that's something that you could probably get away with not wanting to do.
I would
So-
say it's absolutely okay.
Right. So
Yeah.
help me out here. Let's say I don't want to. What are we
Flash
gonna do?
Bros Podcast
What?
at gmail.com. Simply send us an email, or even easier, if you check out each episode on Spotify, there's a Q&A
Oh, yeah.
or comment, and you can leave whatever you want directly on that post. Come directly to us.
I think that sounds perfect.
Hey,
in
man.
fact, I'm typing it in right now. I'm going to email you at this very second.
Test it out,
I'm testing
baby.
it.
Your support, my friends, means genuine growth for this podcast and our community. And Josh and I are all about that love. So we love you guys. Thank you for being a part of all of this with
That's
us.
right.
We couldn't do it without you.
We literally are nothing without you guys. You guys are the lifeblood of this whole idea that we have going. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Right?
I know exactly what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying.
all right, Joshy.
Yes,
So the main topic today
Uh-huh.
is indie power.
Indie power.
Indie power, baby. So this is actually like a topic. What really started it
Yes.
was Hades.
Yes.
Okay.
That's right.
Because I think I didn't even get to it in the rendezvous because we took a break. But
Oh yeah.
if I forgot to say it, I've been playing Hades.
That's right. You might have not even said that.
I don't think I did.
I think we were talking about it only
We were
off
briefed
cast.
on it on offcast, and then we briefed on it on pregame.
Yes,
but
we did.
okay, so Hades
Yes.
is this beautiful. It's by Supergiant. Okay,
Supergiant.
yeah, and they not to be confused with Supermassive.
Supermassive was a
Remember that
completely different
throwback.
studio.
No, yeah. So it's I honestly had a little bit of time this weekend.
Yes.
To like sit down and play a game, and kind of got homework, and I'm like, you know
Yeah.
what? I'm not like in a headspace for Xenoblade 3 and
Yes.
like finishing that yet.
Right.
Kind of like you.
Which hurts my soul. By the
Oh
way.
yeah, it should. It's real personal.
It
though.
hurts.
So I was like, what's like an indie game in my backlog I haven't played yet,
Something.
and picked it up.
Throw
and,
on.
dude. Probably have put like a good 8-10 hours into it over
This
the last
is
like 3 days.
This is so shocking to me.
Yeah, bro.
Because I can't remember the last time you just played a game.
Yeah, and couldn't put it down. That's
Yeah.
kind of rare for me.
Or even just like by yourself. You know?
Really?
When was the last time that happened?
Yeah, you know what? I mean, those are my favorite games, but it's been a while, bro.
Yeah.
It's been a
That's what
while.
I'm saying.
You want to know
Been a minute.
one of the last ones,
Huh.
genuinely?
Which one?
You know what I was playing right before I met Kendall? Like
What?
when I was like focused and just in here grinding. It was
Xenoblade?
no, it was Fire
Emblem.
Engage.
Engage.
Yeah.
The shitty one.
Yeah. You know, never beat it. So we're just gonna leave it at that. You know.
You said it was horrible.
What I want
You
to
said
say
it was the
about
worst one.
the focus here really is these indie games, because if y'all haven't seen Hades, it is the definition in my book for a very clear like top tier indie game.
I agree.
Because you can see every bit of heart going into this from a studio that is not that big and doesn't have a lot of money, but they have a lot of passion.
Yes.
And they have a lot of creativity, and they have a lot of, in fact, I'm pretty sure I even read reports about how the health of the internal studio for Super Giant. Yeah.
Super.
Is very healthy, you know, and I think they're underneath Devolver, if I'm not mistaken. Devolver Digital. They're like a publishing arm,
Okay.
but it's like indie focused, so they really
Okay.
only like help fund, and they're just a smaller, not AAA or anything
Right,
like that,
right.
right? Just helping with funding and things like that, because when you get into the indie space, I think I need to lay out and define what an indie game
Yes.
is.
I think that's important.
So, I do actually have the Wikipedia definition here.
Okay.
For what an indie game technically is by definition. Okay.
I'm so excited.
An indie game, Joshy,
Yes.
as you might imagine, is it's short for indie video game. It's an independent video game created by individual or smaller development teams without the financial and technical support of a large game publisher.
Okay.
Yes. In contrast to a AAA game,
Which would be
under the umbrella of big money-making CEO companies that publish games.
Well,
okay?
we're talking Nintendo.
We're talking
Nintendo,
Nintendo.
Microsoft.
Yes.
Talking about Sony games.
But it's beyond. Those are also the hardware makers, so they're, I think, most recognizable. But you might be familiar with Ubisoft. Okay, with Activision.
Yes.
With
Rockstar.
Blizzard. Rockstar. Big names in
Sucker
the game.
Punch.
All the sports games, you know, underneath like EA Sports, and how big that brand is.
Sports.
It's in the game. Yeah, you already know, bro. So an indie game has a lot of positives and a lot of negatives, because there's always a balance in these things.
Sure.
So as we have talked about many times on the cast,
Yes.
the great thing about AAA is we almost just get so much overflow, because truly these companies have such stupid amounts of money that they can afford to, and have team sizes to pump out games every year.
It's true.
So
Yes.
we need them too, right?
Right.
Like it's a big part of the industry. But
Right.
what you lose, as we've talked about, is because you have a board of directors, probably not even gamers. The money is the focus when you get too big.
Right.
So because the money's the focus, we're adding deadlines, pressure, and things that take away from the creativity within the dev team.
Absolutely.
And crunch, and a bunch of things that just change the essence of what the game truly is, which that's the heart, right? Is whatever this product is, and in this case we're talking about video games.
Right.
Which, yeah, as you've said perfectly, you can't fool us gamers.
You
bro.
can't.
We can tell when it's just a cash grab,
Right.
and when there's no heart, and when
Right.
it's just no, right? Not it.
It's an annual release that's made to make money.
Yes.
You can tell.
So the
You can
beautiful
taste
thing
it.
of indie games, from all shapes and sizes, some
Yes.
of them are cash grabs, but
Sure.
I think a large majority of like what we've talked about on this show, because truly it's such a saturated space now. It's like most of Steam's games are indie games. And yeah, you can tell some people are just trying to make money, but legitimately, you can now separate like the pack for these top tier indie games,
Yeah.
like Hades, where you can feel the creativity, the passion, the love behind the team,
Absolutely.
and they're like, "Oh my gosh, did you see this in this game?" And that's how they talk about it, as
Right.
opposed to like Yeah, so you just want to be careful of like that glitch behind the wall over there, and it's due next week.
Shovelware.
You know, this interview's over. I got another 85. I gotta crunch this week, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Have you heard that term, shovelware?
Shovelware.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is just like garbage that's thrown on a.
It's dirt.
Just nothing.
Just shovel it.
Just literally shoveling.
Shovelware.
Shoveling
that's such
trash.
A good term.
That's what it is.
Well, that's what the eShop is now.
It's become nothing but shovelware.
Oh my gosh.
There's
to the point where it's
so much.
bogged down.
It's literally so bogged down. I remember when the Nintendo Switch eShop, when it first came out, there was like one game. There was like 5 games at one point on the eShop.
And remember how fast
Breath of the Wild,
instant.
It was so crazy.
No, there was a couple indie games. There was like a couple indie games. That RMX racing game.
RMX Racing, bro.
It's
Fast RMX.
RMX.
Snipper clips.
Yep.
Kamiko was on there.
Yes.
Yeah, you ever play that one?
I got it because I thought it looked cool.
Yeah, I loved it. I played
it.
It's only 3 characters on like 3 different worlds with 3 different bosses. And it is so
Isn't it
fun.
Like $3?
It was so cheap,
like
too.
$2,
It was literally a done deal. It was like,
done deal.
I'm
got a new Switch. Here's a $3 game. A little shovelware, but you can appreciate
that.
It.
Wasn't shovelware. That was
right.
a cute little
You're right.
game.
So I want to also say one more thing about the defining these terms here between like AAA, AA, and also say that AA. What's like the big obstacle here for the indie studio? It's money. Mm-hmm. It's an audience. It's the money to be able to not just develop a game, but then to release it. How do you just before the digital era,
or brand new IP,
like indies basically couldn't exist.
Yeah, of course,
because how could you get your game out? You can't. That's millions and your distribution, all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
So nowadays we're in like this very special era where really indie games are just widely available and being made all the freaking time.
It's true.
So a AA game is more of the middle ground. Like I said, it's kind of what Bungie was. So they're owned by Microsoft.
What would be a good AA game that you would be able to like tell someone about?
Probably. Trying to think. You remember? So a good example, of how flexible AA can be is Ratchet and Clank. Because like OG before, like back in the PS2 days. Okay.
Yes.
So Ratchet and Clank was made and funded by it was funded by Sony,
right?
But made by what was it? Activision? No.
Activision?
No. Who made Ratchet and Clank? It's the same studio, just Spider-Man.
No, it was Insomniac.
Yes.
They did it back in the day too.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Oh.
Insomniac was the OGs, but it was like Naughty Dog for Jack and Daxter, right? And Insomniac for Ratchet and Clank.
Right.
So
I didn't
Insomniac.
know that. I thought they did the reboot, and I thought that was kind of just what they did.
Oh no, that's their original IP. So the interesting thing about that whole, like where we are now with the reboot and everything, is that originally, before Insomniac, I can't think of the name. Before Insomniac was acquired by Sony,
yes,
officially, and like remember the first game they made was Spider-Man. Pretty sure Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, because
the acquisition, or was it after?
I think it was Ratchet and Clank. Because they did
you might be right.
Yeah, because they did Sunset Overdrive.
Yes.
And that was an Xbox.
On Xbox One. Yes.
That was before it was like they were
like an IP of Sony.
Yeah, like
okay.
Sony.
So because that's the thing is they weren't owned by Sony.
Mm-hmm.
They just were a second party studio where Sony funded certain projects and they made the game for Sony. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's why they were able to make Sunset Overdrive.
Exactly, for Xbox.
It was an Xbox.
Because they were still technically an independent studio, right? Making games for whatever they wanted to. But then after the acquisition, and also what having a second party studio does is the game that is made, even though it's by a studio that's not technically Sony, Sony owns the IP of whatever game is being made.
Like Ratchet and Clank or Sunset Overdrive.
PlayStation IP. So Insomniac didn't have the rights to do anything else with it, just like Bungie didn't have the rights to do anything with Halo outside of Microsoft.
Oh, wow.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense.
Okay. That's like the best way I think I can put it.
I think I get that.
Yeah. And what that means basically is it's a middle ground. You don't totally have Microsoft or Sony up your ass, and you're doing everything for them, but they come to you and you make maybe some things for them, and then okay, you've got like this one IP with something else, or maybe you just do your own thing, and you kind of balance that.
Right.
Does that make sense?
I think it makes sense.
Yeah,
Completely.
yeah.
I think I'm straight on that.
So, indies being the focus today.
Yes.
Joshy, I think indies is such a wonderful topic of conversation that makes my heart happy, especially with where we are today.
I agree with you.
But as we love nostalgic throwbacks on the show, I wanted to first ask, what, if you can remember, is one of the first memorable indie games you played? I know we talked earlier.
We did say. I said a couple things.
You said Undertale.
Yes, Undertale was one of the biggest for me personally.
Yeah, for one of your first favorite indie games, right?
Huge. Like, it was big for, like, when it came out. It was a big deal. It was from an artist that I had already known pretty well through Homestuck, which I was a huge fan of. So kind of, me and my older sibling following this, person for a while. Toby Fox.
Oh, yeah.
That was probably one of the most hyped and excited I gotten for an indie game. I would like to ask, though, what would you consider, like, Minecraft back in the day?
So, you know what? Minecraft is definitely an example of an indie game.
It's was
not an indie game anymore.
Yeah.
Now it's second
Microsoft
party.
second party.
Because Mojang I guess it would be everything they're working on, right? Because now they've moved a little beyond base Minecraft.
Right,
they've got like Minecraft Legends and Minecraft, all that stuff.
Dungeons.
But they're making it just under Microsoft.
Right.
Funding everything.
Right.
Even though Microsoft's allowing it to go to all other platforms.
Right.
But OG Minecraft in its purest form by Mojang, that is
indie game.
The definition of indie
So
game.
before there was Undertale, before there was anything, as a kid, before I was into truly any kind of massive game, Minecraft was one of the biggest things I'd ever wanted, ever. I'm not kidding. It was, and when I was a kid, like, it literally was so much more than just a game. Like, I remember there were huge YouTubers that were playing. I watched a lot of Tobuscus. I was so into the... he had World Buscus was what he called it. It was his Minecraft playthrough. But he would do mods. The Aether mod was huge back then. I would watch gameplay of, like, they had like these castle mods and like all these huge
mod.
The Aether. You never heard of this one? It's kind of like if the Nether is hell, Aether is heaven. And so it's like a whole sky dimension that exists with like different biomes and different creatures, and you make it through glowstone, and then you put water in the middle, like it's and then it makes
holy
this blue portal, and that was huge, that was massive. But like just watching Minecraft gameplay was like huge to me as a kid. So that was definitely the biggest indie game I have ever been into in my entire life.
I actually have to completely coincide here that my first truly lost myself in an indie game was definitely Minecraft.
You think so too?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, I vividly remember even the term, nobody used the term indie game that I can really remember.
I don't remember that either.
Until the 360, because the 360 had the Xbox Arcade.
So
it launched and it came with all these games for free.
Yes.
And then it was the first ever digital.
Do you remember when Minecraft first came to Xbox 360?
Yes. That's where I played it.
Yeah.
I didn't play on PC.
I played Java Edition. I played so much earlier because
the OG.
I was trying to put Blade on it. I was trying to put him on.
I was trying to put Reset.
But you didn't have a computer. Right?
Yeah.
So it was impossible. It was impossible. For me, it was impossible because, oopsie.
Oh, we got it.
It was literally impossible because it was exclusively on PC.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
This is way before Pocket Edition or any kind of, frickin' console edition came out.
Yeah.
This was before all those. And I remember when it first came out on Xbox, I was begging Blade to get it, and he was like, "Dude, maybe I'll check it out." I'm like, "Dude, Minecraft's the best game ever."
I'm looking at it yeah, bro, I don't know.
Yeah,
that's what everyone does. That's what I did.
Yeah,
Genuinely, I don't think I'd ever really because I didn't grow up with Animal Crossing, so I didn't really like have a creative freedom game that I enjoyed. Turns out what I didn't understand was the survival aspect and the zombies aspect, and so it just all clicked in such a magical way without like any words.
Yeah,
you just figure it out. You know?
I don't think I'll ever forget the views of the first ever Minecraft world I had.
Yeah,
it was called Joshimation. I always name my I always just have fun names for my. I've had a lot of worlds over the years, but Joshimation was the original world, my first ever world. And it's long gone now.
Oh, yeah.
It's like 3 computers ago. But I literally like remember the way my house looked. And like I was next to a village. And I remember there was a jungle next to me before they made jungles harder to spawn in. Because back then there were like 4 biomes. There was like a freaking desert. Like...
Yeah, there was like a little island.
Beach. What's it called? Yeah, there's like beach island, and then like... jungles and like forests.
Yeah,
and that was it. Back in the day. Yeah,
was there even snow?
Oh yeah, there was. There was tundra biomes, I think is what they were called.
Yeah, but you couldn't really like do anything with the snow.
Yeah, I mean it was like. But no, you're right. It was like 5 biomes. Yeah, I swear.
So simple.
And it was so simple and so wonderful. I will. Well, I have a. What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, the reason I remember it so vividly is because. The game that really was like, whoa, when I got my 360 was Geometry Wars.
Geometry Wars?
Do you remember that game? You ever play that game?
I never heard of it.
It's it came on the Xbox 360 originally, and it was just one of those, and they made sequels. They had Geometry Wars 2, Geometry Wars 3. It's literally a twin stick shooter. In the vein of Undertale, actually, gameplay-wise. But it's beautiful. Actually beautiful.
Geometry Wars.
Yeah, it's like little shapes and shit like going across, and it's EDM playing in the background, and it's all fancy visually. Beautiful, like beautiful game, bro.
Oh.
Yeah, absolutely wonderful. Especially the twin stick aspect is really, really unique.
Oh, there were a lot of ones.
Mowing down. Oh yeah, man.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, so I remember like that came out when I got my 360, which was about my freshman year of high school. And then when I graduated high school 4 years later, that's when Minecraft dropped. Yeah, and so that was like, to give you a timeline.
Yeah.
So you were probably playing Minecraft when I was like playing high school.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry.
You were playing through high school, weren't you?
Playing school and high school.
I think we all played high school, didn't we?
Yeah, I did. While I was living Halo. You know
that's
what
right.
I mean?
I went to Halo and played high school.
Yeah, exactly. Bro.
Yeah, real shit.
Yeah, my words are just like backwards.
Fine. It is bro. Like kind of late.
I know. Yeah, the brain. I can definitely feel the brain shutting down.
Your brain shutting down. I was gonna say, I do have another example of something that I didn't play that much back then, but I definitely played the shit out of. Terraria. You know this one?
Oh yeah, bro.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Did you play any of them?
I actually was really intrigued because it was like would seem to be a completely different take on Minecraft.
Okay, so this game back in the day was especially much before Minecraft was like on systems or anything.
Oh yeah.
Terraria existed.
I didn't.
And it was it's an old game. It actually I remember at the time kind of felt like it was like a very similar setup to Minecraft, where it was like
if anything I thought it copied some elements from
Minecraft, so that's
right?
what I thought when I was a kid too. I was kind of like, oh, it's just Minecraft, it's just like 2-dimensional Minecraft.
Yeah,
but I could recognize how much more there was even when I was younger, because I would watch gameplay and there were bunnies. No bunnies in Minecraft. There were like like bats. No bats in Minecraft. Like back when I first played this, they had like, they had all these, like, they had fish that swam around. There's no fish in Minecraft. You have deep chasms. There are like different biomes. There was no like mining biomes back in the day.
No.
Back in the
No, Terraria always seemed very complex.
It's extremely complex, and that's something I tell everyone. I'm like, it's not supposed to be the infinite.
A 2D Minecraft.
Yeah, it's not supposed to be the infinite world of Minecraft. It's not. The world comes to an end in your world of Terraria.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, you can have a small, medium, or large when you generate your world. Be small, medium. I think I'm more of a medium fan. Large is too big, and small is too small. And I really like medium.
It makes
I think it's got.
makes sense for me.
I think it's like fucking Porridge Girl. What the hell is that girl's name? That damn woman's name?
What's her name?
Goldilocks.
Goldilocks.
Yeah.
Those bears.
But no, that's a very big, complicated indie game, which I want to commemorate to indie games is their ability to go so incredibly deep. Can I mention another one?
Oh, please.
How many can I mention? What do you want?
This is open-ended.
Oh, is this open-ended?
If anything, I have some specific questions.
Okay, I have a couple.
want to see what would first pop into your mind.
I'm
But
so down with that. I was just gonna say I am so.
This is a
deeply
shout out to
impressed
all
with,
the indie games.
Yes, absolutely, huge love letter to them. I'm so deeply impressed with Stardew Valley. I have gotten very into that one, and I think it's an incredible game that also is so just as deep and complex it feels in so many aspects.
Yes.
And I honestly feel like I'm only scratched the surface of everything that you could possibly get done in Stardew Valley, which is why I'm afraid of the game Dave the Diver, which is my friend Anthony. He's running through that right now.
Yes.
Insane.
Yes.
It's insane.
Right.
It's genuinely
I think
crazy.
in his words, you think you figured the game out,
Yeah.
and then it just gives you more.
And it just gives you more.
And more.
And that's how
and
you
more.
explained it to me.
Yeah.
Wild
Yeah,
stuff.
no, and it matches it when we it came up on our radar. I literally remember that podcast. It was like on the list
Yes,
for like
it was
potential game of the year.
Game of the year,
And we were
yeah.
like, Dave the
Dave
Diver, what the hell?
yeah.
And then we saw how it was reviewing and watched the gameplay, and then everyone's freaking out about this game.
It's going crazy.
Another example, like you said, of an amazing indie game, especially
Think about how
deep
deep-
came out this year.
Yeah, exactly. How deep it really has like gone, it goes. You can go into.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to shout out. Wait, do you have questions? What are we gonna do?
Not keep
How are we
going.
approaching
What
it?
do you want to shout out?
Two of my favorite of all time.
Yes.
SteamWorld Dig.
Steam World
Huge.
Dig. Specifically
Love it.
2, no?
Specifically two, but also it works so well with the first one.
Okay.
And I went ham on the second and the first one. I went just as ham on all of it, but two offers so much, especially in the case of like, I love when you start off controlling a character and it doesn't feel bad to control, but it's almost a Metroidvania-esque where you can like, you upgrade things constantly and you're constantly upgrading. To the point where you literally just become like to the very end, you're like a demon.
Yeah.
You're just able to move in the best possible way. SteamWorld Dig 2 has that better than any game I've ever
Really?
seen. Oh yeah. You can just buff that character up to being
wow.
like literally flying around the whole screen, like having like
Whoa.
long range like attacks.
I
and
didn't know that.
stunts. Yeah, I went crazy with this character.
That's crazy.
And I did the same thing with the first game too, but I definitely think the meat is in the second one. But you have to play the
And
first
that's what I've heard though.
Yeah.
Is that the second one is actually like one of the best indie games ever.
I think it's definitely one of the best indie games. It makes me want a third one. I want a third one so bad.
They haven't made a third one?
No.
Oh.
And I think,
didn't they do SteamWorld Heist?
yeah, they did SteamWorld Heist, and then they announced like that other SteamWorld game, SteamWorld Draw or something.
Oh yeah, okay.
Or something.
Oh, so they're just going away from it.
Yeah, which is unfortunate for me.
Have you? I thought of one. Have you heard of Inside Out?
Inside Out.
Inside Out.
Inside Out.
Yes.
Like the movie.
Not the movie.
Oh.
I'm sorry, it's Inside. It's
That's
not
what I was
Inside
gonna
Out.
say.
But
Inside.
wait,
yes.
that's a sequel to something.
Yeah.
What was the other game? Limbo.
Limbo is the original.
Limbo.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so Limbo and Inside
Yes.
Out.
Inside.
Inside.
Inside
Have you
my
played all
balls.
these games?
I played the beginning of Limbo,
Okay.
and then I played none of Inside, but I have them both.
You would love both these
Yeah.
games, specifically Inside, because
I think Inside I'm crazy for.
tells the story similar to
You
the
played this?
stage. Yes, I played
Cool.
both.
Okay.
They're both really good. I love Limbo's direction.
Yeah.
It's so creepy
Yeah.
and just
Dark.
lovable and dark and challenging, but
Yeah.
and it doesn't tell you anything
Right.
at all.
Right.
You figure it out. It's and it's beautiful. It's
Right.
like a beautiful little story.
Whole story.
Inside is also beautiful, but I'd
Right.
say it's much more of like a it's real and it kind of hits emotionally. Similar to like we watch those music videos, the stage.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
like that vibe.
Something emotional, yeah.
Yeah, and like it's more of a different like a 3D rendered art style where you're
Okay.
like you're a little boy and you're like running, right?
Yeah.
And there's still no voices or anything, but
Right.
you get to like a factory and there's like kids in the factory and you're like, oh, what's going on? You just like keep going, right? And you're trying to it's
I definitely plan to play Inside. I'm
It's
also
deep.
play Limbo.
Limbo. Yeah.
I might
If
have-
you were gonna play either one, definitely Inside.
Inside?
Yeah. If they're not like connected even.
Right, but they're by the same people. Right?
Have you heard of a game called Katana Zero?
Oh, yes.
Katana
yes,
Zero.
I have
This
been.
was probably my favorite indie game like 2 years ago when I played it.
Really?
Yeah, like indie game of the year for me.
Indie game of the year.
What a fan! I've never played a game like Katana Zero
I never
because
played it, but
it's got beautiful. It's like side scrolly pixel art. It's
Mm-hmm.
beautiful, but it has like the way that it handles your attacks and deflecting. You have to like deflect with your katana like a literal
yeah.
ninja, right?
Yeah.
But you use the right stick and you literally have to deflect it in the line
in the
of
same
whatever's
way.
coming
Yes,
at you.
that's so cool.
Yeah, and
I
if
love
you
that.
do it correctly, you also do a dash, so you can do like these crazy dashes.
Insane moves.
But it's also a stealth game, so you can't. It's not like you can just go crazy. You're not just fighting and killing. No, you're like there's a story, and you're kind of like John Wick. Right, and you keep bugging out, and you keep getting injected with like this drug that this guy like you're like working for him, and you're just trying to get back to your family.
Right.
It's so good,
That does sound
so
fun.
good. Pretty sure it's voice acted too.
Is it? It reminds me. The cover reminds me of Fury. You ever heard of that?
Yes, the
That's
cover
also
actually
a-
looks just like Fury.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It always reminds me of Fury. Because Fury's cool.
Fury's
You play that one?
really cool.
I
I
played, like,
played
the first
only
two.
the first boss.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I get the concept. It's like a boss rush.
It's a boss rush.
Right.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy about it though. I mean,
Yeah,
it's,
I mean-
it's cool, but like, I don't know. I feel like boss rushes are fun, but also like, I feel like if that's it, I'm not too.
No, you're preaching to the
crazy.
choir.
Yeah.
I'm exactly with you.
You know what I mean?
I play games for specific reasons,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And if it's like a hack and slash grind,
Yes.
I kind of just want a story with it. I kind of want a little more than the
I agree.
bosses, and I want the bosses to add to it,
I agree.
not like be like the central focus of my entire game. You know what I mean?
I completely agree.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
I have one I wanted to talk about.
Yes.
I'm a huge fan of Celeste. I think that is one of the best indie games. I feel like it's got such a. Oh, I just remembered another one, but I'll mention that after this.
Yeah.
Celeste, incredible. I
Completely agree.
don't like. You know this. I don't like really hard games,
And Celeste is brutal.
and it's brutal. But there's something about it that is so like rewarding and fun, and it always just kind of comes down to like you try, and then you try again, and then you try again, and then you kind of try again, but you like get it after a
Yes.
while, and it's like addicting. I also would say there is something really nice about a game that is brutally hard but respects your time. There's a very big difference because Celeste,
Yes. Bro.
no game over screen, no like some kind of like long death.
No.
It's literally just boom, boom, you're back.
Instant. Yes.
It's literally boom, boom, you're back. I think that's what really did it for me because one thing that the reason I really am such a Dark Souls hater and at its core is because
That's right.
I don't want something to not respect my time. If something doesn't respect my time and is wasting it by me, like truthfully trying my best, I don't know, man. Is that really the game you want to be sinking all your time into? Not really.
Not really.
Celeste, even though it's brutal, it respects you. It does. And even when you die and you miss like a part, it also just it gives you that kind of like immediate get back to it or don't.
Yeah.
Right?
No,
and then you're
I
back
agree.
to where you were.
Yeah, it brings up a great point about indie games as well.
Yes.
Something that oh man, especially just when it's done right. And I feel like indie
Yeah.
games really are just doing this specific area justice in today's world more than AAA,
Agreed.
and that is music.
Mm.
Okay. There are exceptions, of course. Like Xenoblade is a great exception.
Oh yeah.
Even Mario Wonder, I was pretty impressed.
Mm.
But the music, dude, it's all on Spotify, and there's like a side B, right?
Yeah,
Which has,
yeah.
like remix tracks.
Right.
That is a beautiful, emotional soundtrack.
I love that soundtrack. I also love the story. I think it's a very beautiful.
If anything, that's
story.
probably. I think you would love it because of the story more than anything.
Yeah, it really is like. I really found myself invested, and there were moments that I just like I was into it, but I was also like, you know, there's some creepy moments, there's some really heartwarming moments, there's some genuine funny moments. It's kind of got it all. It's kind of got it all going on.
Yeah.
And I never ended up beating it, which I'm very upset about. Did you end up beating it?
No.
I got
if
really
anything,
far,
I'll be
though.
real, bro.
Yeah.
I probably didn't even get as far as you. That game was
really?
hard. Like, you gotta want it, right?
Yeah, but it also respects your time. You know
It
what
does
I'm saying?
respect your time, but you know, I had a buddy
Yeah.
back in Oregon, Ben. Okay, part of the OG PAX group.
Yes.
So Ben was the Celeste boy. Okay, this guy. The last time I saw him was this last Christmas,
Never.
and I asked him, like, you know, we caught up, and I'm like, what have you been gaming? And he said he is currently, as he has been for years, he's working on getting every single. It's like the golden.
Strawberry? Or
Yeah, you have to get all the strawberries without dying,
Oh yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then you get a chance to get like a certain other item, like
Yeah.
the golden cassette or something like
Yeah,
that.
the golden cassette.
Within the side B.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's brutal. I'm like
Sounds
watching him
horrible.
play, and it's like, what the heck?
Yeah.
One mistake, you're done, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Really, really admirable, and he loves it. He'll grind that out
game,
for
baby.
hours.
Yeah.
I am so picky,
Mm.
especially with platformers.
Mm.
I don't know.
I'm
I
with
have
you.
to really want it,
Yeah.
right?
Well, Tiny Barbarian.
Oh, man.
To mention that is brutal. That's really brutal. That's precise, and Celeste does have that. But I also feel like
Celeste respects your time probably more.
I definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. But I would say with Celeste, one thing that I find different is the freedom of movement and the approach that you can with different things. With Tiny Barbarian, as an example, very tight controls, very, very tight. However, everything is kind of clear on how you approach those things, but jumps are sometimes pixel perfect. Sometimes you really gotta just like do it perfectly. There are moments like that in Celeste for sure, but I feel like the approach is kind of like there's no truly correct way. Reminds me of kind of like the classic, Mario Odyssey. Where
Yeah.
it's like there's no real true way to approach this, but in a 2D setting.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I
I don't
agree.
know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've always felt like it's pretty freedom of movement.
No, it is. It's amazing.
I have one that I wanted to mention again.
Yes, bro. Keith, please. Keep them coming.
This one, I don't even know.
Shovelware.
If you know.
Shovelware.
No, it's not!
A short hike?
I don't know if you know about this.
Dude, I've heard of this.
Okay. This game made me cry. It is
You
so
told me
short.
about this.
Yes, that was me. So short, so sweet, such a beautiful art style, an incredible, like, story being told. It really does. It really is emotional. And the whole point is, it's so much fun.
Wow.
The whole point is really just getting to the top of this mountain. The whole map is just this island that
You're just
exists.
playing it like a little penguin?
You plays a little. He's like a crow or something
Okay.
because he can fly.
Penguins can fly.
Penguins cannot fly, Sam. But it's got this really cool, really unique style where it almost looks like a DS game.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and find some better pictures, but you can like change the settings if you want it to look a little bit more. But just like look right there, almost kind of looks like a DS game, like
it does.
a high res like DS game. And I very much love the style. It really is.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's unique. It's beautiful. It's wonderful, and just getting to the top of that mountain is one of the most beautiful moments I've had in gaming, and genuinely with very few story aspects, just brought me to genuine tears, and really moved me deeply
Yeah.
to my heart. And
you know what you reminded me of is I had I'd say a very similar experience using the words you're using for this game, Short Hike. It's a game called Journey.
That's right, Journey. We talked about it on this cast.
We have several times. A game that made me cry the first time I played it.
Right.
And even getting emotional on another playthrough, watching somebody else play, right? And how there's no words, but it can have that impact on you.
Absolutely.
It's beautiful. I love if the game can do it.
Is that
right,
an indie game?
It is an indie game.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely.
I love that.
Yeah. If anything, I think the studio was bought out after they made the game.
What do they do now? They do anything?
You know who I think
the studio?
owns the studio? I think who makes God of War? I forget.
Ooh.
Oh, dude. No.
What is it?
I was going to say the studio Guerrilla, but they make Horizon and
Santa Monica.
Santa Monica.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of funding, this is one of the most famous video games, especially the beginning of like a crowdfunding operation.
Indie games?
Yeah.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Shovel Knight.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, dude.
Oh my God. I love Shovel Knight.
And talk about, I personally have so much nostalgic love for Shovel Knight, and I really wasn't looking for it.
Yeah.
Right? I played Shovel Knight because one of my buddies back home begged me to try it.
Really?
And I appreciated it.
Before it was like Shovel of Hope or before.
Oh yeah,
like
way before
any kind of Plague of Shadows or
I think he was a backer, right? Originally, so we got like an early copy, and he's playing it, and I knew about it. I saw YouTube videos. I appreciated it, but I'm like, I'm not gonna play this game. But like, the music is kick-ass.
Music is some of the best chiptune you'll ever hear. I'm not
absolutely.
The main theme is kick-ass. Every single world sounds so good, and Plague Knight's dude, so good,
so good.
Plague Knight's
man. So good. I just always love like you start that first world, and it's however that song has such a fucking name. And
it's a good ass song. Yes. And then after that, it's
so upbeat.
It's so good. After that, the King Knight song is also really good.
King Knight song is also good. Yes.
Yes,
dude. You already know, bro. How does that? Oh my gosh, it's called like Strike the Earth.
Yeah, Strike the Earth
song.
It's literally it.
Yeah, from the first
level. How does that one go? Right?
It's I can hear the sound effects.
It's not even like a level. No.
Yeah, let's keep going. You know, speaking of pixel art, speaking of good music, speaking of crowdfunded, Sea of Stars, bro.
That's a rather recent one for you, huh?
Yes, as of this year, no. It was the beginning of this year. I'm pretty sure it's when it came out.
Oh yeah, I think it was.
Pretty sure, yeah. I just remember I dropped everything to play that game. When did that game come out? Let's do a fact check. Was that last year?
Must have been, because that was the beginning of our
2023.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you're right, bro. It was August 29th, 2023. It's been a year.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Yeah, okay. Then you already know how amazing this game is, bro.
You'll know.
And it's literally like a love letter to Chrono Trigger, and not just Chrono Trigger. It has elements from Mario RPG, from like even Paper Mario. Some elements, like just some elements from like these like old school RPGs that were just very revered for the time.
Oh yeah.
And it just does it more justice than I've probably ever seen.
Than anything's ever had justice. Any justice. I'm with it 100%. I think it's beautiful.
Yeah.
I think it's a wonderful looking game. I think it captures a lot of the beauty of the style and proves that pixel art is not an old, dead, outdated style, but a incredible work of art, right? And a wonderful style. I have one last one if you can't think of any other.
Yeah, let's do it.
Pow World. Pow World is one of my favorite games of all time. I could not believe how surprised I am by this game. From what I assumed, especially, with the price and everything, to be kind of a gag game, and almost even to a degree, kind of just like a nothing of substance, kind of just like I said, a gag game. Pokemon with guns is what people call them.
Pokemon with guns. No.
And I have been deeply blown away by what Pocket Pair has cooked, because it is a deeply emotional experience that combines some of the best feelings of a lot of different type of survival games. I was super into Raft before I got into Pal World. Raft is a lot of fun.
I saw you. I saw you playing a couple of times with your brother.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I used to play with Drew a lot. Very fun base builder. Pal World kicks its ass. Like, I've seen the gameplay of Ark. I like the style. Pal World is just the better version.
Totally, bro.
Like this whole.
I know. I personally would love like the fantasy elements that Power World has on top of like this Pokemon-esque nature.
I love. I mean, yeah, you
right?
could say,
but just for conversation's
right,
sake, right?
I honestly think it kicks Pokemon's ass too. I played through all of Scarlet and Violet, got every single Pokemon in the Pokédex, and 100% exactly the DLC and all that.
Yeah.
But I think Pal World is better. It is a better experience. It really does reinvent the idea of what it means to be a creature capture in the year 2023 and 2024. It really does. It kind of just shatters the expectations that I had, and runs so deep into the direction of just what you could possibly do.
It truly embodies Reggie Fils-Aimé's.
Oh yeah,
it's not fun. Why bother? Right.
It's a great point.
And it's fun as hell, man. I cannot wait to play it. I still I'm gonna uphold my word. Like if
so excited, dude.
At the end of the year, but that's really the goal. Like get a little bit of money in before. Ooh, maybe Black Friday might be a little cheaper.
Oh,
you know?
True.
I'm kind of holding out a little bit for some of Black Friday, low key, but I will definitely be getting it before the end of the year on PlayStation so that I can dive in. I cannot wait.
The Krabby
Patty. So you had the Krabby Patty.
Yes, I tried it.
Wendy's.
From Wendy's. So Wendy's is doing.
I didn't even know they were doing this.
So I don't know why Brawl Stars just did a SpongeBob. I showed you this. The SpongeBob.
Yes, it just ended.
Event. And then there's also a Wendy's SpongeBob event that just started. So I'm like, I don't know why SpongeBob is kind of everywhere right now. We're doing a lot of stuff with a lot of other collaborations. I don't know why. But I tried it last night with Dylan, and it was freaking delicious. It was really good.
Yeah?
I don't eat a lot of Wendy's, so I don't know how much was just a regular burger and how much was added. They said they threw the secret formula in there, though. So there was like a special sauce that tasted so good. It was so good, genuinely. And I got a doubler.
I think I have to.
Yeah, that's what
I literally
we were talking about it in the car. We were making jokes. We're like, dude, I am fulfilling something right now that I've always wanted to try.
No.
And it tastes
that's exactly where my head's at.
It tastes like SpongeBob made it. It tastes good. It tastes really good. It's only a meal, though, so it comes with fries and then a Frosty. It's like a pineapple Frosty. I called it a kelp shake, of course.
A kelp shake?
A kelp shake.
Yeah. Dr. Kelp Shake.
Yeah. Did you ever watch the Kelp Shake episode? That was a little past good SpongeBob.
I don't think so.
Kelp Shake was like, it's like everyone drank them. It was during the time when it started to get where I was like, yeah, this modern SpongeBob is not.
I'll give you I remember the exact episode that SpongeBob
where you were like done.
Where I was done.
We also watched a new SpongeBob episode.
We did, and I didn't even know that was new.
What do you mean?
We're watching it, and
I don't know if it's new.
10 minutes in the episode. Yeah, I'm like, I don't remember this.
Yeah,
but it doesn't feel like new SpongeBob.
Yeah,
and the way we're talking about right now.
New SpongeBob is on this whole new. It's not SpongeBob really.
Yeah,
you know,
it doesn't have the heart of.
It really Steven, doesn't.
Right?
It doesn't, and I feel like that was middle evolution. If pre-SpongeBob was peak SpongeBob.
Yes.
Right? Which there's eras of SpongeBob. There's an old enough SpongeBob where. It feels like a different show, like old SpongeBob.
Yes.
Like 90s SpongeBob.
Like Help Wanted is
Help Wanted is the first episode.
Old.
Yeah, it's old. Yeah. It's old. Or the water, whatever that episode was called. Because that was the first introduction of Sandy. But I remember back in the day, Patrick didn't feel it. He was dumb, but he wasn't as stupid as he was. My peak SpongeBob is like the peanut episode where they throw the peanut at the crying oyster at the circus, and then it like it starts crying, and then like Patrick starts investigating, and like the whole town is trying to figure out what happened.
Yeah,
and it turns out Mr. Krabs stole like the egg.
Yeah,
which is so funny. I
barely remember that one.
Really?
Yeah,
that's
like
peak SpongeBob.
I enjoyed it so. Yeah, how many seasons was it until the movie?
I don't know. I don't, but I do. I say, truthfully, I think the end of the movie is the end of truly good.
The first movie, by the way, right? With David
movie.
Hasselhoff.
I'm gonna look it up.
Goofy Goober.
David Hasselhoff.
Yeah.
What? How many seasons?
To be honest with you, I completely agree. I actually, and that being said too, sometimes the movie can be the turning point.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? But I actually loved the movie. I think the first movie is so good, especially with how they handle like everything David Hasselhoff onwards. Now it's blending with the real world. Then they're like dry, and then they're trying to figure shit out in like the real world and get back down.
Or like they turn into like real. Like physical sponge, or like a physical star.
That's what I'm saying.
Star.
It's
it just goes with that one joke where it's like, Mrs. Puff. Oh, she's married. Well, no, she's not. Well, whatever happened to Mr. Puff? It's like the physical lamp. Do you remember that? Yeah, it's like a physical, real lamp.
What happened to Mrs. Puff? Mr. Puff.
She doesn't like to talk about it. That's all you get to say.
No, that is so funny. Well, do you know what came out soon after? It was like the first special, I think, after the movie.
Yes.
It was Where's Gary?
Oh,
I remember that specifically. And I remember there was two things. It was Best Day Ever.
Yes.
And Where's Gary?
It's a bad day. Yeah, facts.
And
no, I forgot those came out.
Those two things was like the apparent, either I'm getting too old or SpongeBob's changing.
I remember Where's Gary because I remember it not being that good. Do you remember the plot or like how it worked? And it like ended up like he was with like an old lady, but it like just caught like not. It wasn't like
no.
I remember being like disappointed because they hyped that shit up.
Welcome back, Joshy. Welcome back. It is just like the last recorded episode.
That's right.
Just like episode 55.
It's becoming a tradition.
Yeah, I'm hoping not for.
I hope not for too long.
But we had to cut it. We've had a lot going on.
Yes.
A lot at the house. A lot of our buddy Gabe came over too.
Yeah, that's right.
So we had to delay. Let's wrap up the main topic,
yes,
here, Joshy, because there was a little bit more that I think we wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
So I want to do, coming off of all the indie games we were talking about, still on our main topic here, I wanted to ask you a couple of questions, and then we can wrap, and I got some trivia for you.
Let's do it, baby. That sounds like a plan to me.
Beautiful. Okay, so with everything that was said, I know that, maybe for the audience it might be a little jarring, but we're coming 2 days after the first recording, so we might do some repeats
We
here.
might.
But my question for you is, maybe besides Power World, besides Shovel Knight, because I know we talked about
we
those,
did.
What is coming to your mind as an example of your personal top-tier indie game?
Top tier indie
Top
game.
tier.
Well, I would say there's two ways to go about that. Me personally.
Yeah.
I would say a top tier indie game in my eyes. I think Undertale is one of the best video games ever made because it is exclusively only consumable as a video game. A show wouldn't work. A movie wouldn't work. A manga wouldn't work. That is the point of Undertale, is that it is made to be a video game. And a lot of horror games do that well, I believe, like Doki Doki Literature Club. One that gets in your brain.
Man, that is a great example.
Embraces the fact that it's a video game. But Undertale does something really special where, in a similar way that, I won't say why, but one of the reasons I love Last of Us Part 2, I don't think Last of Us Part 2 is as adaptable. I think Naughty Dog did what Toby Fox wanted to do, but to a lesser degree, where it is kind of mind games being played with you, where you are being thrown through the ringer.
Yeah, like this fourth wall breaking,
Yeah.
like psychological.
Yeah, and you know, Undertale's a bit more in that hand.
Yeah, more
but-
like the fourth wall
Yeah,
breaking
yeah.
for sure.
So
yeah.
I'll break this down too. I'll say I think Undertale is as the medium, it is one of the greatest video games ever made. And I think that obviously would have to say, you know, since it is an indie game, it would have to be placed in that place. But me personally, I'll also say I have two types of indie games that I appreciate a lot. Obviously, we talked about Minecraft and Terraria, but we didn't really get to talk too much about Stardew Valley, which
you brushed over it.
I kind of brushed
And
over it.
I feel like that's something for you because we're both Animal Crossing fans.
Yeah,
right? You've had a lot of experience with this game.
I love Stardew Valley. I think it is one of the best kind of Harvest Moon style like farm life sim games to come out ever. I think it's like one if anything
still going
and
man.
Pixel art and seasons and all these things that I love about Animal Crossing while also being genuinely one of the most addicting games. That game is hard to put down. I don't know if you've ever played it or know how it works.
No, I know a little bit how it works, but I knew up front before I even played Animal Crossing that this is going to be like a sinker.
Yeah,
and I don't want to just play it without being willing to sink. I
will say it would be hard to find a part where you stop, because when you're dealing with crops and dealing with a time that is faster than our real time, you get locked in. So you'll literally spend a whole day. I remember I spent whole days planting and watering crops.
Okay.
And then it'll get dark or late, or I'll go and I'll sell things, or the shop is closed. I'm like, I'll just go to sleep, do it tomorrow. And I would do that over and over and over and over. And it got to a point where I remember one time I was sitting in class, because I was playing it in class. I was like, I don't want to put this game down. Like, I have to, but I don't want to. During a similar time, I will say, I'm not just a Stardew Valley fan. I played this game called Forager. Did you ever hear about this?
Forager?
Did I ever tell you about this?
You did.
Yeah.
Because you were shocked I had never really heard of it.
Yeah. So it's I mean, I'm not even shocked, to be honest with you. It's a very indie game. I'm gonna try and find it.
Here, I'll look it up while you're talking about
if you
it. Yeah. I'll do a little fact check, because I can't even tell you what the cover looks like.
It's pixel art, but it also it's made by just one guy. And it kind of embodies a lot of the things that I love about indie games.
Oh.
And
wow, yeah, it's showing a little like gameplay loop right here.
It is so much fun. Like, genuinely, the more things you can craft and get into, the more islands you unlock, and the more islands you unlock, you can like build bridges between every single island. Those are placed completely by the character. Your combat goes up while you're also like upgrading your character. There's dungeons and like all this really, really amazing stuff.
I'm looking at gameplay. This looks stellar.
So I would say,
I love the art style.
Yeah,
it's
the art
so
style's
unique.
super unique.
Pixel art is not really doing it justice, because the animations are very.
The animations are sweet.
Whoa!
Like slick. There's also like a bunch of there's like costumes you can get. I got the Shovel Knight costume. There's, different. There's different like character, different indie game characters. So I have a love for that and that style of indie game a lot. But I might lump this in, but I also like indie games too, kind of going with what I said about Undertale. I really feel there's something special about having one developer, a small team even.
Yes.
Because it's a personal story. You look at Hyper Light Drifter and you kind of look at that story being told and the fact that it was based on a real feeling that this guy had with his illness, and how he portrayed that and made art out of it. There's only
beautiful art.
There's really hard ways to tell a story, unless you go Last of Us Part 2's direction, where you have a director and a writer, and like Neil Druckmann is the creator of Last of Us Part 2, and he's working on the new show because it's his creation. It's a story he wanted to tell, because it's clearly personal. It's clearly, but you don't get that a lot with a lot of modern big, Go watch State of AAA.
Yeah.
There's a lot to be said there.
No, it's true. I mean, that's
but-
kind of what prompted all of this.
Yeah.
This is the opposite direction.
Yeah.
This is showing, a game like Forager.
Right.
In what world would, truly Sony be putting out a game like this? Like, that's first party or even second party?
Really never.
No.
Really never. And that's not a dog on a big budget game,
No.
because I think there are good ones out there.
If anything, I feel like they need each other.
Yeah,
We need these kind of
exactly.
spaces
We
where
talked about this.
indie can't exist if AAA doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's all the same thing.
Right.
Like, gaming from the beginning
Yes.
was niche.
Yes.
Was super niche.
Yes.
No, and do you think anybody wanted to fund that? Not really.
Right.
If anything, it was like a brand new business type of funding. So you could say everything was indie.
Yeah.
At the beginning.
Absolutely. I mean,
Right?
yeah, there's a level of truth to that. I just think that, at their core, indie games are able to tell a story a little bit deeper than a lot of others are, because there's a lot riding on a AAA game. There's money, there's people to please, there's all that. With an indie game, obviously, that is a thought process.
Right.
But there's a lot less, you have to base on. So I would say, like an indie game right now, what I'm thinking of as like something that kind of encompasses.
Yeah, because
all
I'll
that.
ask you a couple more specific questions about games. So what are you thinking about?
At the moment, I'm just thinking about. I really was blown away by SteamWorld Dig 2.
SteamWorld Dig 2.
I really loved it. It had a story and characters, while also kind of having that feeling of like Stardew Valley, where I'm upgrading constantly, or Forager.
Oh yeah.
And then I'm also mapping out these caves, and there's a whole overworld with multiple caves in them that go so deep that I just got lost for so long, and mapped out so much of that game that I would grind. Like I would grind in that game. I knew like the best spots, so you could just like do shit. I would like buy upgrades where I'd get like extra reward for when I killed an enemy. So I went so ham in that game. I think it is one of the best indie games out there for sure.
SteamWorld Dig 2.
Yeah,
Hell
SteamWorld
yeah.
Dig 2.
Okay. Well then,
SteamWorld Dig 2.
what is maybe one that you wanted to love, but it just kind of fell short? It doesn't necessarily have to be for any like the conversation I'm kind of thinking of prodding is maybe something that because it's indie, you could see how it struggled because the team wasn't bigger, because maybe the guy who had the vision and the passion, he just couldn't properly execute it, because taking the idea from your head and executing it into the art form, that's probably the most challenging part.
I would
for someone
say,
that's not you.
I have a couple.
Yeah.
But one that comes right to my head is ukulele.
Ukulele,
I
bro.
was
That is an amazing example.
immensely disappointed with that. Because it just felt like it fell just this much short, right? Where it was like, I almost felt like when I was playing, I was like, I kind of want to play Banjo-Kazooie. Like, it really is just like, it falls short in a lot of places, which is why, I feel like it was this close to greatness, and all it needs is just a little bit of tweaking. That's why Yuka Replayly is like, that's kind of a hype game for me. Like,
Yeah.
I want to hear how it turns out. I'm not going to buy it.
I'm not
right
gonna
off
like
the
put
gate.
my money up front.
Exactly.
Because I don't know about you, but I bought ukulele
Yeah,
when
me
it came
too.
out.
Yeah, me too.
And I had high expectations.
Me too.
We share this one.
Yeah.
And I think I think Caleb also. Wanted like this. We all grew up with Banjo-Kazooie, right?
Yeah.
And you're right. When I played this game, I didn't even get to the first world yet, and I was literally thinking Banjo-Kazooie is a better game.
It's way better.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, there's no like comparing really, because it's like you could say, I don't know. One thing I was really disappointed by was did you ever feel like the same like these characters were like glued in place? Like whenever there was like this pig lady and this like snake guy with trousers on, I think his name was Trouser. But I remember in Banjo-Kazooie this feeling of like the whole world for an N64 game like was kind of alive. And like there's characters who stay in place, like those bears who were like waiting for their dad, but like you see them later, they're like making snowmen and like all these things, and it just felt very alive.
Yeah.
And I remember feeling like at its core, it just felt like a video game. Like these characters were glued into a spot and they barely interacted with the environment. If anything, they stuck out, to the from everything that was, set up. So pretty disappointing.
It is, man, because in I guess to promote your point where my head's going with that of like that shouldn't be a thing.
Yeah.
Right? Because they're coming off of the example of Banjo-Kazooie, which Banjo-Kazooie already too, like what you said about even you load up back into the level and now you're completely on a different mission.
Right.
And so the world has changed.
The world is different. It's like a lot.
Mario 64 kind of does the same thing, right? Yeah. Only certain things would happen if you selected that star on the menu, right?
Right.
So then coming to Galaxy, and they changed the formula, and we had Sunshine. So all of these examples, and then DK64, of what this game is foundation. I mean, this is what it was bragging about.
It was supposed to be
right? So this is a Kickstarter game.
Revitalization of the style of game.
Right. And they had every reason to do it. They had these directors, they had these writers, they had a bunch of the OG team from Rare.
The music was, what's his name? Neil, or Niall, or no.
Wasn't it Grant Kirkhope?
Grant Kirkhope.
Yeah,
that's it.
The original composer.
That's the composer. Yeah. And so, but then even that, the music felt like it fell short.
It felt more generic.
It did. And everything
kind of just felt generic.
Yes. Everything just felt short. And even the saddest part is it wasn't like, oh, this is atrocious. It was just not there, Right. So it's like, okay, you want to play a recapturing of Rare's glory days? Just go play fucking Rare. Like, it really just did not give that
Rare
feeling.
Replay exists.
Rare Replay exists, and guess what? I'm pretty sure I bought it right after I got Banjo-Kazooie.
I believe it, bro.
Because I was like, I just want to play these games.
Yeah,
like,
and Banjo-Kazooie, by the way, is available everywhere.
Yeah, it is. And it's on Switch. You can play it on the go. Like, there's a lot of... It's so funny. Even Adrell was replaying it when it first was released on the Switch.
Oh, he was,
yeah, you
bro.
remember that?
Yes.
And I was just like, it's a great game. It is replayable. So, that one I can think of... I will say a couple that I really did not give too much of a chance to. I wasn't... Did you ever... what was it called? Owl Boy? Did you ever play that one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, bro.
Really
I actually,
really
it's
cool.
pixel art, right?
Yeah.
This got pretty good reviews.
It got amazing reviews.
Came out. And it was on the radar.
Yeah, I was very excited for it. I felt like it fell short for me. I think I was looking for a bit more. Oh my gosh, this artwork is incredible, though.
Dude, it is. Yeah. That's exactly what I was thinking.
I was looking for something a little bit more... I really don't know how it fell short. I wanted to play more. I played like 2 hours of it.
Okay.
And I just wasn't pulled back to it. I think it was just like something about the setup. It just kind of felt a little too generic for me. I don't know. Something about it just
something
wasn't...
about that execution.
Yeah, it wasn't as special as I wanted it to. And then for another reason, Fury I thought was really cool. But I never could get as completely into it. I think we talked about this though. Good game.
Right.
But I just am not crazy about boss rushes. I'm not a huge I love a boss because I actually just beat the boss today for Astrobot. I beat that squid.
Dude.
Yeah, which was such a fun fight. These fights are so good. Like, they're genuinely so good.
Yeah.
Nintendo level of creativity and how to use the gadget that you've been using this whole time. But then again, that's kind of what I wanted to say, is that there is something special about a boss where it's kind of in a culmination of everything you've learned from this point. And so when you just have bosses, I'm like... Yeah, it's cool, but do I really want to get married to this combat if this is all there is, right? You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, yeah. I mean, that's just a couple examples. So,
okay.
I mean,
yeah.
No dog on any of these indie games, though.
No,
because genuinely, I think they are. It takes a lot of effort to. It obviously does.
Yeah. Well, then let me go one last direction. My final question for you.
Yes.
Is what. The opposite. What was like a surprise hit? Maybe you just you played it because a buddy showed you.
Yeah.
Or you saw it as maybe you got a demo. And you're like, oh, I'm just going to play this demo, whatever. And you play it and you can't put it down. Or you're like, oh, I want more.
Yeah. I'm going to go a little further back from my memory because I'm going to even ignore the Nintendo Switch right now.
Okay. Yeah.
I had think about this. I was a kid. I had a $20 eShop gift card that I got for my birthday from one of my friends.
That's indie money, baby.
Indie money. It was perfect. I remember literally setting up these options that I had. There was a sale on Shovel Knight and a sale on Shantae. And then there was also new DLC that just dropped for Hyrule Warriors on the Wii U. And I was really into Hyrule Warriors. Like, I loved that original one because we didn't have a Zelda on the Wii U, so it was kind of like my fix for it. I'm such a big Zelda fan. And the DLC was a lot of cool stuff. It was like Majora's Mask.
Dude,
little
the
kid
DLC
Link.
was incredible.
It was
I
so
don't
cool.
think it counts for an indie game, though.
Oh, no. I'm explaining my setup for what I was...
Got it.
So it was a $20 DLC or these two indie games, Shovel Knight and Shantae and the Pirate's Curse.
Bro.
I literally remember it was like... Because it was like either a guaranteed big name thing that I will love or rolling the dice on two games. And I was a kid. So like eShop money was like...
That's big, bro.
That's big money.
Yeah, you don't know when that's
$20.
back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so it was like, okay, I'm making the decision. I'm going to roll the dice for these two games. And those, to this day, continue to be some of my favorite indie game experiences of all time.
Yeah, man.
Shantae and the Pirate's Curse, especially. Not especially, but just because it's not as huge as I say Shovel Knight is.
It's not, but Shantae's pretty big.
That album over there, the Shovel Knight album you have, an amazing album, and I adored it for when it came out. But I would pay money for a physical copy of that music from Shantae and the Pirate's Curse. It is still, to this day, some of my favorite music I've ever heard.
Man.
And I still listen to it to this day. Scuttletown, its theme, look it up. If you are thinking, like, if you want some kind of Arabian with a beat, it is peak. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
Genuinely some incredible tracks that I still, to this day, listen to. I was genuinely blown away. Shantae especially because I will say it's very funny. It's hilarious. And I think that was kind of one of my realizations that I don't know. I wasn't that young. I was probably like 13, right? I was in, like junior high or something.
Yeah.
It was like when the Wii U had, come out, indie games were on it, and the 3DS had the same eShop thing.
Totally.
So it was during that time when it was kind of like...
Well, even in that time, it's worth noting that Nintendo didn't really embrace fully indie games yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Not to the way that they have on the Switch.
Now with indie game showcases and just like huge announcements, announcing indie games, it's a part of the bread and butter of the Switch.
But the meme before was that Nintendo is not partaking.
Right.
Indie games are on Steam, PlayStation, and Xbox.
Yeah, exactly. And so it was kind of like I grew up a Nintendo kid, so I did not have the most what's the word? Exposure to indie games. And so I really do believe Shantae and Shovel Knight genuinely, especially because I got them as a pair and it was for my birthday. Yeah. I was comparing it to a literal AAA game. Because of all those things, it sticks out in my mind as one of the biggest shockers of holy crap!
What's this game?
And honestly, too,
especially Shovel Knight.
Oh my and then,
gosh!
A summer later, they released a free DLC that completely changes the entire game.
Yes.
Plague of Shadows.
Yes, bro.
Which was mind-blowing. It literally, I remember me and my friends because they announced it at
I think they announced it during an E3.
It was
or a PAX
it was
or
a
something.
it was a Nintendo Direct. I'm pretty sure. They had Nintendo Directs back then too.
Yeah.
And my friends and I were we couldn't comprehend it. We're Shovel free. We're this is DLC, but it's you have to pay for it. I was no, a completely free game that you get to play. And genuinely. So I'm gonna lump those two together just because they were both there. So Shovel Knight and Shantae.
I'll echo for me personally.
Yes.
The Shovel Knight.
Shovel
I
Knight?
actually, unfortunately, have a negative Shantae story.
Do you really?
But I can recognize.
And the Pirate's Curse or Shantae?
No, bro. It was Half Genie Hero. Yeah.
I have a negative story with that too.
Dude, I got to the last boss.
Oh, really? You played the whole thing?
I played the whole thing.
Wow.
You know what I played it on?
Oh.
My indie machine.
Wow.
The Vita.
The Vita.
The Vita
had
was
everything,
definitely
too.
where I played the most indie games.
Indie. Yeah, some good stuff.
Indie.
Undertale was on it. Which
I
had a
played it on
physical
the Vita.
release, yeah.
Yep.
And then
I got the physical release,
yeah.
actually.
They
Yeah.
even had Minecraft, Terraria, Stardew Valley.
I actually owned all of those. They're on my Vita right now.
No way.
Yes, bro.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then
I thought it would just be, if I got to it eventually, that was the best way to play.
did you ever play? Do you remember that Mega Man kind of like
I know exactly what you're talking
Mega Man
about.
X style?
Yes, bro. There's also that
not
one.
Mighty Number 9. Not Mighty Number 9. Yeah.
Oh my gosh! I completely forgot
Which
Mighty Number 9 existed.
yeah.
You and I have never
I don't think we
ever
talked about
talked.
it.
Can we?
But I'm a
we're
huge
breaking
Mega Man
right
fan.
here.
Ah,
Okay.
yeah.
I'll get back to Shovel Knight Shantae.
Yes.
Mighty Number 9.
Yes.
My guy. Were you a part of that hype train
Yes.
at all?
Yeah.
You
I
were.
was. Well, I feel like I got into OG Mega Man a little bit later. So it
I'd
was
say same.
it was
Yeah.
a little bit more of excitement for the idea.
Okay.
And I was also on the train because
Yeah.
Shovel Knight and Shantae and Volt. What the hell is that other one?
Oh,
Yeah.
Volt.
Is it called like Volt something?
Oh my gosh, the one that's on 3DS.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was also on Vita.
Shit.
Well,
Don't look it up.
I'm looking it up.
No,
It's
I know
pissing
what
me off.
it is. Gunvolt.
Gunvolt. Yeah, Gunvolt.
Gunvolt. Shit. They came out with one collection that was crazy. It was on the 3DS first. I'm pretty sure. It was like the Gunvolt Revolt. Pack.
Yeah, dude, look at this. Oh
Yes,
my gosh,
dude.
yeah. So this was more based. It was like a Mega Man kind of, but it was more Mega Man X. Yeah, so
style, which is very different.
It was actually
from base
more.
Mega Man.
It was more Mega Man Zero, which has multiple.
Oh,
games,
okay.
too.
Yeah.
So this character is kind of based on, and the fact that it was kind of story heavy. It was very much Mega Man Zero, which
Mega Man
was.
Zero. Okay.
I had I had it on my PC when I was a kid, and I thought it was the coolest game because it starts off, literally you start off and you're like already deep into the story, and it's like on this train cart where it's like you're jumping from car to car.
I've played the beginning actually.
Of Mega Man Zero?
No.
Oh,
you're talking about Zero?
That's what I was saying.
Oh,
and
I
so
see. Yeah.
as a kid, it like blew my mind on what, like, I was like, it's not just platforms. It's like I'm literally
What's
in the
happening?
game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like
so,
X. You're like running through, bro. It's so sick.
Gunvolt kind of was like a Mega Man Zero. Dude,
One of my
my
favorite
gosh.
art styles. I
Seriously
think I might have put. Who's the main character? Is it Gunvolt?
I think his name is Gunvolt.
I think
Maybe it's Volt.
Well, I put him on my ballot for Smash.
Dude, me
love his
too.
design. Really?
I did Gunvolt, Shantae, and Shovel Knight in the original ballot back in the old days when Bayonetta
I can tell you
won.
exactly.
Or
what
was
I
it
had.
Cloud that won? It was Bayonetta, right?
Bayonetta got like top in Europe, and it was like the highest. No, Sora was the highest votes for all regions, like cumulatively. It was like Sora, and then Bayonetta was right under that.
Yes.
Who was on your ballot?
I did
Gunvolt?
Gunvolt, or I did Shovel Knight, Shantae, Gunvolt, and then Cloud.
Cloud.
Yeah.
And Cloud was a winner.
Yeah.
You know who else was on there? Sephiroth.
Sephiroth.
Okay. So my list was literally Sephiroth, Shadow.
Yeah. Shadow's a good one.
Shadow's number 2.
I don't think
baby.
I did. I was such an indie kid. Like I was so into that
Yeah,
scene.
let's get, and also I understand the hype. Let's get as many characters from as
Yeah.
many series.
That's what I
into
was all
Smash.
about.
Yeah.
I was honestly pushing. I think at the time I was pushing mostly for Shovel Knight.
Okay.
And I think he got really high.
Yeah.
And that's why
I
he's
put
an
Shovel
assist
Knight
trophy.
and Sora.
Nice.
Yeah.
So we're in there
Yeah.
too. Wow.
And then I think I entered again with my ex's email address because you had to like have a phone
you
number
had
and
the whole
email,
thing,
right?
yeah.
So I used it to do Sephiroth and Shadow again, and then I changed my others, and I remember putting some, but the Hyper Light Drifter guy.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah, I don't even know if
Drifter.
that's a name. It's Drifter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's I saw him. All my friends were into indie games when the ballot was coming
That's
out,
so cool.
and I was literally in like high school, and
That's so dope, bro.
Yeah.
Because I feel like all my gamer friends in high school mainstream only.
well, that's kind of what you had to do like back in the day, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I will say there's something like I never regret my like gaming experience growing up.
Shouldn't.
I missed out on a lot of mainline stuff. Like I never played Halo. I never played Call of Duty. Really, I played a little bit of Ghost. on Wii U, and then I never played any Halo really at all.
Yeah.
And I missed a lot of those, or like Half-Life, or like a lot of these mainline games.
Yeah.
Because I really focused in my high school life on like indie games and
bro. No, that
was really
it
into
makes
that.
sense now.
Yeah.
A little more.
That's why Mighty
more
Number 9.
lore.
Yeah.
Okay. So perfect, because I
Yeah.
was gonna bring back up Mighty Number 9.
Yes.
I'll also say I had Dante and I had Kratos. Those are all mine.
Oh, those are good.
I really wanted Dante. I just thought he'd be such a
Dante's still
addition.
cool.
And they could even do like the younger kid style. Or put him as a skin.
I still want Kratos.
I do too.
Wait, are
Yeah.
we breaking?
No,
Oh.
we are just real quick.
Yes.
Going to talk about an example of mass, what I would say is even scummy disappointment from the indie space, specifically in a Kickstarted space. And I think this really put indies in a bad light for a minute.
Oh, yeah,
I think it was Mighty Number
9 for
because if you, I don't know if you remember this, but I, just like you, I wasn't a part personally on the hype train. I wasn't like gonna back it or get Mighty Number 9, but I loved the idea and I loved all these YouTubers in the community of people that were like so about it, right? Specifically, my guy Colin that I used to listen to on IGN, right? He's one of the biggest Mega Man fans I've ever heard talk about Mega Man. This guy like grew up a Mega Man, okay?
Right.
So he was on this hype train and like a big backer. He was an advocate for it.
Right.
Then the game dropped.
Oh yeah.
And
disappointed.
It beyond disappointing,
Put it lightly,
right? Like somewhat broken.
Yes.
Like the crowdfunding, that dollar amount that they raised was a record, right? It was so big for a video game, and there was nothing to show. It was also delayed and delayed and delayed. So pretty much, I could summarize it in like, yeah, it's crazy if you could even look this up and see what info you could find, because I just remember it in the nostalgic like memory trip, okay, that honestly disappointment was across the board. It made headlines about how Mighty Number 9 is like the biggest fail of a crowdfunding game ever.
I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which it's so funny because at the time then it set a precedent where it was like, okay, these, I think it was either my realization or I felt like it was a lot of people of like, these kickstarting games could be really bad.
They could be really bad.
They could be genuinely like not well done games. Like the ideas could be there, just like Ukulele.
Yep.
Where it's like it literally is so funny because I remember even Donkey made a video a while ago.
Yeah.
Where he was talking about something and he was like, so is it on the Shovel Knight side or on the Mighty Number 9 side?
So
it's
scale,
like literally
baby.
in my mind that was the scale.
That
It's like
is the scale.
are we going to trust anyone to make something that they promise, especially after Ukulele too, because then you're dealing with, okay, these IPs or the designs or whatever or the trailers could all look amazing and the idea could be amazing,
Right.
but execution is everything.
Right, because if you remember, they had original footage of gameplay. What happened from that original footage, bro?
It's
the game
like,
completely changed.
yeah.
Because they changed from a pixel art, flat 2D art style,
To a
reminiscent of Mega Man, right? To a 2.5D.
Right.
And the reason they said was because it's way, way cheaper. Okay?
For sure.
Hearing that come out of their mouth, when we're talking about, but you're talking to the fans who are literally giving you your money.
Right.
It's not a publisher.
Yeah.
Okay? These are your fans who are buying the game and fronting you before you've even made it yet.
Exactly.
They don't want you to skimp out.
No.
So it
Skimp
felt
out.
like the
why are we
first
talking
slap
about
in the face.
Yeah.
It wasn't even out yet.
Why are we talking
changing
about
to 2.5D? Because it also looked terrible.
Yeah, it
Seriously,
did not look good.
It's very uninspired.
It's uninspired. It was just like, it was just everything that I enjoyed about like the initial looks it just got lost in it, and
it did, bro. And I honestly think it's because of the money. And I think that, it shows that even that's kind of the danger, I think, when you're going into the crowdfunding space. Now you've got the money already. So your biggest problem is out of the way. So now it's on you to execute.
Right.
And fulfilling promises is way harder when you've already taken their money.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah, because then it's already done. I very, very disappointed in the studio. That shit is really, really fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Came out 2016, so
2016,
I was
man.
like 16.
8 years ago.
Yeah.
Joshy,
Yes.
I have one last bonus question
Tell
for you
me.
before we wrap up.
Okay.
What is an indie game
Ooh.
on the top of your head right now
Mhm.
that you have currently backlogged? You hope to get to it someday.
Oh.
Yeah, like high hopes.
Does Hades count?
Hades definitely counts,
That's
my
an indie
man.
game, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll say probably Hades. Oh, actually, you know what? Above Hades,
Oh yeah.
Dave the Diver.
Dave the
This-
Diver.
My buddy Anthony has gone ham on this shit.
Shout out to Anthony.
Shout out
Yeah.
Anthony, huge shout out. I can't believe
That's all I was talking
how
about
much
last time
this
he
game
came
is,
over.
dude. Because it's like it's like huge and
Huge.
it's fun too.
Yeah.
Like the whole like being out in the ocean mechanic and also
You're a scuba diver.
you're scuba diving, but also it's like there's a level of tech to the combat
Oh yeah.
where it's like, and then also just like fun RNG and like packages you find and like stuff like that. That is only probably maybe 10% of the game, right? Because the other half, you are running a restaurant, hiring employees, you can apparently Anthony was like,
Apparently.
I can't believe this. He has a farm now. He has a farm
There's a
for chickens.
farm?
Yeah, all these things to get ingredients for his place, and then he has like a fish farm as well, where he's like a breeding ground where you
Yeah.
can bring new fish to. It seems like there's new shit all the time. Like he has this like cell phone where it's like different apps have different things. The reason I haven't touched it yet is because I know I'll get lost.
Yes.
Like deeply lost, like Stardew Valley level lost. Because also at the same time it does something similar that like Stardew Valley does, where it's like
Yeah.
that day cycle of just like I'll do that tomorrow or whatever. But also just like it goes by a calendar too, so there's special days, there's holidays, there's weather conditions, there's all these reasons why you should keep going. It blows my mind. It genuinely does. So probably that's the biggest backlog because I want to get it even soon. I would say Hades other than that though.
Okay. Hell yeah, man. I also want to say too, since we recorded the last episode.
Yes.
I told you right before we hit record today that I beat Hades. Right?
Yes.
After diving back into it. So for like about a 3-day run that I finally beat the last boss. But I want to say the way that it's painted in this roguelite fashion. It sounds reminiscent of the genre, but I'll say it's the first roguelite I've ever beaten the last floor boss. And there's not
I've never done that either.
There's not many. Yeah. I've never like literally it's always been a fleeting dream. I've seen my buddy beat Binding of Isaac. How did you fucking know?
I don't know. I just felt
You
like
just
that was something
literally, dude. That's crazy. It was right on money. So I watched him beat it, and I'm literally like, how? And he's insane. It's like a twin stick.
Yeah.
Like, have you seen gameplay of Binding of Isaac?
I've seen. I don't know if I've seen the final boss, but I've seen like some late game like shit.
It's unreal.
It's like
I
Undertale.
don't. Yeah, and this is the same guy, Ben, by the way, who is like a god at Celeste.
Didn't I meet Ben?
You might have met Ben one time. I think Ben came to the house one time
once.
because.
Remember?
Oh my gosh! It was when I first moved here, and I just met you because we went to PAX.
Yeah. Wait.
No.
I thought he came to the house. Who came to the house?
That was Brad.
Oh, Brad. Yes.
Brad,
Yes,
my
yes,
man.
yes.
Yeah. Now Ben came once before you in my life. That was like I moved here in October, and that January we went to PAX East or PAX South. We went to Texas.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Which most boring drive of my entire life, I must say. But so Hades, this game, it now you would think, oh, like Kendall's like, you already beat it? Damn. What are you gonna play next? I'm like, no. The game just started. It just started, bro.
Right.
I want to say real quick about the game what makes it so fascinating. I'm gonna see if I can explain it well. So you get through the floor. They're called like floors or chambers, whatever you want to call them. In this game, Hades, you're escaping hell. So it's like you start at Tartarus.
Oh my gosh,
right?
dude. Can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
I don't even think we ever mentioned Tiny Barbarian.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so sorry.
Can I wrap this and can we get into Tiny Barbarian?
Yeah, I think we should at least talk about it.
I think we should give it like a special Flash Bros shout out, especially for a game I've never experienced quite like it. And I think you can say the same, dude.
Dude, that just popped in my head. I literally was like, holy shit.
I'm so glad you brought that up because nobody's heard of that.
Yeah.
Okay, Tiny Barbarian. Guys, if you've heard of Tiny Barbarian, you let me know. Caleb, you don't count because you and I have played through that entire game, bro. Didn't beat the final boss.
I was going to say, did you beat it?
Nope. So I hope you and I can someday.
Hopefully.
It's a race.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'll go home and kill him and I'll crush that out. But
Yeah.
so the way it's set up is like, you get through these this chamber, which is Tartarus, and you get to the next one.
Right.
And you get to the next one. And after that, you have one kind of final boss rush chamber, and then there's the last boss. Okay? Once you do all this and you beat the game, it like, remember how I told you the game remembers everything you do, and it's very uniquely, there's so much love and passion into everything that happens in the game. It's like you can really tell the tiny details.
Yes.
And that's Supergiant is a very renowned indie developer for all they do with this, you know, because Bastion's the same way. There's that game Transistor they did. They did one other game that I can't think of.
Actually, look them up.
Yeah, they're fantastic. They're working on Hades 2
What are they called
now.
again?
It's in early access, bro.
Mighty Number 9. What are they called? Supergiant?
Excuse me, one word, Supergiant Games.
Got you.
Not games though. Wait, Supergiant.
I think it is Supergiant.
One word, space games.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're picking up what I'm putting down. So, the way they have it set up now is like
Pyre.
Dude. That okay. So I'll put that on my backlog because that was like, the gameplay of Pyre.
Transistor 2.
Pyre is a 3-on-3 like soccer game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but it's not. That's not multiplayer.
Right.
It's all within its story. So you're playing like sports and you're working up in the league. It's so sick, bro.
Cool,
I had
Did you play it?
My PS4 theme was Pyre. No, dude, I watched another guy play it, and I was pretty like following the development of the game.
Oh yeah, for
But
sure.
Hades, it's superb, bro. If you want to see like the best of their work, in my opinion, dude,
this is a peak of it.
Hades is so good. I'm not kidding. You play it once, and you will be hooked. You will understand.
So cool.
Every death you have gives rewards. Everything you do gives rewards. Kind of like Animal Crossing, right?
Right.
You
Everything.
truly don't waste any time. Everything has purpose.
You play as a different main character in Hades 2?
I'm not sure. I don't really know anything about Hades 2 because I'm trying to stay as spoiler free as possible because I am. You know what I really appreciate about these games? The less you know lore wise, the more you will appreciate.
The more you'll have fun.
Yeah. So you know what's crazy is I've seen this concept. I would call it the Diablo concept.
Right.
I've seen it a lot. It's kind of this idea that you play through, you beat it. Now there's even better shit you can get, but you're almost in like a new game +1.
Yes.
And then 2 and 3, and you keep working up your difficulty. So Dark Souls has that. I say Diablo because I think if I remember right, when Diablo 3 came out, they had 25 nightmare difficulties. Like it goes like easy, normal, hard,
and that's like
nightmare 1
every time
to
you
nightmare 25.
Yeah.
And you don't unlock more nightmares until you beat the 1.
Just a little funny thing. Never mind.
A little funny thing?
Nah, it's okay.
Okay. Well, that was funny.
That was pretty funny, yeah.
Well, so they do it different in Hades. Check this out. I love it too, and I appreciate it because it's an indie game.
Right.
It's like they've thought of something so original. I've never seen this before.
Right.
It's called Heats. Okay?
Heats. Huh?
Yes. And I'm going to give you a visual because, as you know, you're a visual guy and you love visuals. So with the Heats, what they do is they handle your rewards in 2 ways. First way is by your weapon. So there is 6 weapons you can play with in Hades. Okay, you start with a sword, like a broadsword.
Right.
But the weapons get crazy. Okay.
Right.
Each weapon you pick, each weapon has an individual run of rewards.
Right.
So you get like these 3 very important items that upgrade weapons permanently.
Right.
But you only get 1 of each by beating each boss with that weapon. So as you can see, once you work through all 6 weapons, eventually you'll run out of rewards.
Right.
That's where the heats come in. So by adding a heat, they give you a literal list of options down
Didn't you show me that though?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
I
no,
just
no.
unlocked it.
Yeah.
They all have a tick box. Every time you tick, so you can basically select how you want the difficulty to increase. Okay? For example, one is like time pressure. So you have 9 minutes to beat a chamber.
Right.
If you don't, you die.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Another example, enemies do 20% more damage. Gabe's calling.
Oh my gosh, what the hell?
All right, we'll take a pause. All right. We are back.
We are
I want
back.
to say real quick on these heats here.
Yes.
So you're like, you check boxes, and for each box you check, that's heat
Right.
Right.
Which will make things more difficult.
It makes
essentially.
it more difficult by whatever you checked, right? Like right now I'm doing one where every unique boss and sub-boss has like a new skill. So it just makes them a little tougher, right? That they didn't have the first run. So once I can get 3 more unlocks with that weapon. So it just promotes all this replayability because then, if you do that, now check another heat. There's so much replayability, I can foresee hundreds of hours in this game. You know what I mean? I don't know how much I'll sink into it, but I'm excited for more. So, and I think it just, again, shows like the heart and passion, and that's just the advantage of indie games. I will also say real quick with Tiny Barbarian. One of the most unique, like just very simple pixel art games. That it doesn't have a lot to it. It's a platforming game, right? Side scrolling. It's old school. You can see the nostalgic love in it.
Absolutely. You can
talk
hear
about
it too.
soundtrack too.
I was gonna say it. The soundtrack is amazing, but those sound effects too are so satisfying. The way it sounds like when you hit an enemy, or like just the sound effects I think are
so silly.
Very important.
Well, and you know, games. The most mentionable thing about Tiny Barbarian is the fact that it's co-op. And how it handles the co-op is very unique, and we like share health. If like you die, you can steal half my health. Kind of Smash.
I was gonna say kind of like the team battles.
And it's legitimately hard.
Very hard.
So hard.
It is,
but not too hard.
It is not too hard. I would say it's held up a lot by the the multiplayer aspect. I think that I probably wouldn't run through it by myself. It's a little too difficult.
I wouldn't.
In the same way we were talking. Oh, we did mention it for a second earlier in the episode because we were talking about Celeste. We were talking about the forgivability or even just the wasting of your time. It doesn't waste your time really, but it does. You know, when you die, you die. You're dead. And you got to respawn.
It gives you checkpoints.
It does.
Right.
It does. But you're at the end of the screen.
Well, I guess Celeste gives you.
Celeste does. Yeah. Which is all. They're both the end of the screen. I'm pretty sure.
No, it's great, bro.
I love it.
Joshy.
Yes, sir.
Let's wrap this freaking cast, baby. I have a couple of questions here for you. 3 to be exact. For a tiny little class trial. Are you down? My first question here is...
Wait, I didn't answer you. I'm down.
You are down.
Yes, I am. I was yawning.
You were mid-yawn. Yes. But you looked down, so...
I literally looked down.
The first question is, what was the first indie game ever made?
Ever made? Holy shit. Is like officially released? Because I mean, Flash.
I don't know. I've never heard of this.
For a while.
This is much before Newgrounds.
Very much before Newgrounds.
In fact,
was it?
I'll tell you, it came out in 1963.
Whoa. Was it Pong?
It wasn't Pong, but some might consider that Pong would be an indie game. Like I said, because at the beginning, right, it wasn't really these big publishers, but. There kind of was, because, you know, the people who are making the hardware, they're kind of in charge. Okay?
What's the
first official debut indie game? And it's kind of up for debate of what you technically identify as indie. But some people consider it to be Space War.
Space War.
Exclamation point. In 1963.
Interesting.
Made by a small team that was not commercially financed. However, there was no commercial sector for video games at the time, so it's not clear if that means it was truly independent.
I think everything was independent.
Pretty much. But I thought it would just give you a little
Space Wars. I will remember that.
Space Wars. Yeah, check it out. Might be good, might not be.
Maybe I'll check it out.
My next question, number 2, is what was the first official indie game to win the title Game of the Year on a like a voting platform?
Oh, wow. That's a great question. Wow.
Yeah, and I have a hint for you if you want to know the console it was on.
Can I know the console?
Yeah, I think it's a big hint. It's PS3.
Fuck. That's a good question.
Got you.
Amazing question.
PS3 exclusive too. So not anymore, but it was.
Right, at the time. I don't know if I know this. I don't know. What is it?
It is Journey.
Journey. Oh my
Journey,
gosh.
my man.
Fuck.
Yes, sir.
That is an indie game. Huh?
Yeah, I didn't bring it up intentionally because of this pop quiz, but it's like, man, that is a beautiful example of an indie game, like a game that without a single word,
right,
it'll make you emotional.
Says so much, yeah.
Might make you cry. Yeah, says so much, man.
Just might.
I say I'm not gonna say anything else about it because everyone should go and experience Journey right now.
Oh yeah,
and it's on Steam.
Go get it.
And PlayStation. So yeah, seriously, I think it was included with PS Plus even. So you might already own it.
You might have it.
The last question here, Joshy, is
that's a good question.
More of an opinion.
Oh,
What for you is the best indie machine?
indie machine.
Yeah, what would you prefer right now with all the tech available to play if you could play your indie games in one place, where would it be?
Oh my gosh. Every indie game. I mean, me personally, I'd probably go my PC.
PC.
I wouldn't want to.
That's fair.
But I mean, I feel like it has everything.
Yeah.
And it's also like one of those things where it's like, I feel like some indie games get ported really bad because they don't have the money to be able to optimize everything as well as you want. Like I tried to play what's it called? A Hat in Time on Switch, and it's terrible. It's like 32 gigabytes too.
Oh my!
It's like a ridiculous. It's a ridiculous number where it like
your whole memory card.
Literally took so much. It was the biggest game I had, and then I was like, this also looks not the best.
Yeah. It ain't right. It ain't good.
So I'd probably say PC. Probably
PC or Steam Deck.
Steam Deck.
Hey,
I was gonna say that, but I don't have a Steam Deck, but I feel like that would be perfect because you can get any game on there.
Bro. Yeah, literally.
Come on.
All right, Joshy.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Let's wrap it right up. Here, my friends. Thank you so much for joining us once again for the official Flash Bros podcast. We will see y'all next week. That'll be the last call. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know what I got cooking for next week. I'm kind of going into next week with a fresh slate, kind of getting prepped for the end of the year, actually. As we go into our final months here.
That's right.
But we got a little less than 3 months for the
That's right.
Yeah, baby. But thanks for cooking with me today.
Of course, man.
Always, my man.
Thank you for cooking.
Always, bro.
Always appreciate it.
Always. Cooking mama in the house. Johnny, also shout outs to you, buddy.
Shout out
for being
Johnny.
here with us.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace. Sorry,
God rest
he no longer be here, but I hope we might just see him once again next week.
Possibly.
With that being said, be safe, all my friends, all you out there, all of our gold tier beautiful sponsors. Be safe, spread love, and enjoy your beautiful, beautiful weekends.
Enjoy it, guys.